would never give the drugs to an ordinary citizen. Hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Flip Pick live show, late night edition. And you might be asking yourself many questions right now, but the first one I need to get out of the way is, how are you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining me. It's Saturday night, and I just felt like wearing my cheap Batman mask and my Batman t-shirt. And I will explain myself. Not only am I a vigilante of the night who beat criminals to a pulp, but I was also making a movie night video revisiting The Dark Knight for the 997th time in my life. So I was busy doing that. I was wearing the mask. I was wearing the Batman t-shirt, and I figured, why not? Just go ahead and make a live show while I'm at it. And with all that said, let me take a sip of this delicious caffeinated beverage. I am drinking a bourbon mixed with a little bit of Coca-Cola because I like to keep it nice and trashy. That is good. All right, so once again, thank you so much for joining me, guys. This is going to be a very laid-back, impromptu live show where we just talk about what you want to talk about. So if you have any questions, topics, suggestions, please go ahead and ask away, and we can talk all about it. And while you guys are joining in, and I see all of you beautiful people here, we got Shavam, Diesel. We got Thomas. How's it going, Thomas? Got a whole bunch of you beautiful people joining tonight. And I'll wear this Batman mask as long as you want me to, because I'm not just a guy talking about movies. I'm a symbol of true injustice. And by the way, I'm watching my parents and... I'm watching my... Why can I not figure this out? I'm watching my parents-in-law... There it is. Where are you? Okay. Where are you? I'm watching my parents-in-law... Their dog tonight. Her name is Molly. Come here, Molly. Molly, come here. Molly, come here. Molly, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Molly. Molly. Okay. Molly, the best way to describe Molly is, if you have a Roomba vacuum, you know that large amount of lint that you might find in it? Well, this is sort of that, but it has 4 legs and walks around and loves to eat leftovers. So anyway, all right, Molly, I'll put you down now. She's a very old dog. But anyway, it's okay. All right. She was watching The Dark Knight with me earlier. All right, so let's dive into some of the... Ooh, this camera's having a tough time focusing with the Batman mask. Come on, little one. Here, there's my face. Focus on it. There we go. Anyway, I was going to talk about one thing that it was sort of interesting that happened over the last day or so on the internet. And someone said I usually skip this part. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this real quick, and we'll dive into your questions and topics and all that good, juicy stuff. But we were inundated with a little poster from Avengers Doomsday. And, you know, when I look at this thing, it looks okay. It kind of looks like something that could be generated with ChatGPT. And nothing on this poster gets me that excited for the movie. You know, I think the most exciting aspect of all of this from Avengers Doomsday are the original X-Men lineup down here. And then you have, I like that we're getting Gambit down there with Channing Tatum's version of Gambit. That should be sort of interesting. And then we got Cyclops, which I love that they actually gave Cyclops his suit. We got Beast. We got Magneto down there, who's 129 years old at this point. Professor X. And then, you know, you got... Shang-Chi or whatever, the Fantastic Four, Falcon, like, who really cares? Doctor Doom up there, Chris Hemsworth over here. But doesn't Chris, is it Chris Pine? Chris Evans, oh my God, too many Chris's in Hollywood. But doesn't Chris Evans right there look like Thor if you just squint your eyes enough? Thor in a black t-shirt? I don't know. It's kind of funny. Thor's getting his hair is getting shorter with every new installment, and then Chris Evans, Captain America's hair is getting longer. I don't know. Then you get Ant-Man over there, and then you got some other people who cares about, what's going on. Who cares? Who even cares? But anyway, it's okay. It doesn't really do much for me. It's not like the official one-sheet poster or anything. I don't know. I just want the movie to be mildly entertaining. But I have a feeling they're just going to kill the entire original cast of X-Men within the first 10 minutes of the movie. But anyway, let's dive into your questions here. And let's talk about what you want to talk about. Okay, so here it goes. By the way, I'll just scoot this mic down. There we go. All right. Thomas McLaughlin, who says, "Hey, John, I went to a Back to the Future Live Q&A plus screening. The actors who played Goldie Wilson and Marvin Berry came out to the Melbourne event." That's cool, man. Well, that's really neat. Goldie Wilson. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I hope it was a good time. They better have had a DeLorean parked out front when you went to that screening. I'll just smash that against my shelf as I put it up there, going 88 miles per hour. Johnny is back. Yes, I am. All right. She's cute. Yes, she is. She's a little dust ruffle. What do you want? I don't got food. She just stands there waiting for you to feed her. You little beggar. All right. We got a glorious super chat from a magical viewer tonight. Eric Bosch-chan. How's it going, buddy? John, if you were in WWE, would your finisher be a Bukkake blockbuster straight to the face? And what were your thoughts on CM Punk winning the title? Yes, I would definitely make my finisher blockbuster Bukkake just like this. And then I'd pin you to the ground against your will. Anyway, what was the question? Oh, yes. I thought it was cool. I think it's better for business. Sami Zayn, I think he's talented in the ring. I don't think he's going to sell many tickets as the WWE champion. So he was by definition a transitional champion for CM Punk. And I just think there's more money to be made with that over the course of the next 6 months to a year. So I thought it was good. I think it's at least more interesting, and I was happy with it. Those tickets to SummerSlam aren't selling very well, though. It's in a football stadium that holds 70,000 people. It's 2 weeks away, and they've only sold 20,000 tickets. So that's a bit concerning. But maybe if ticket prices weren't $2,000, people would probably buy more of them. Just putting it out there. All right. At the end of the day, it's just two dudes in a ring, doing choreographed stunts. Okay, let's not overstate what's happening here. But I buy into it, and it's still real to me, damn it. All right, the next one comes from Shavam Dazai, who says, Odyssey reactions have been good so far. Yeah, they have. I've read only positive reactions. Do you guys want to talk about some of those reactions tonight? Let me go to this little site called Rotten Bananas, and which I am a certified rotten critic, or whatever they're called. The Odyssey, okay. Oh, they can't. Oh, you can't put early reactions on there yet? Well, that's stupid. Okay. Let's see. Odyssey early reactions. Now, we have to understand the logic behind these early reactions, okay? We have to understand that first and foremost, okay? These people were invited to a very early screening of a movie, okay? So, typically, you're a little more excited about that and a bit more forgiving. Usually, it takes about 2 weeks for the hype to die down till you get real thoughts and opinions on anything. But let's read what some of these people had to say about the Odyssey. All right. Stephen Wintraub, who says, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is incredible. I've been lucky enough to watch it twice, and it gets better on the second viewing. How did you watch it twice already? You saw 2 early press screenings of this movie? How? Anyway, I'm really blown away by this film. Oh, okay. And I was blown away by that shitty shoe ad. Okay, if you can see it in IMAX 70 millimeter, it's a jaw-dropping experience. It'll be great wherever you see it, but who cares about the show me more part? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great watching it on your phone on the toilet. Okay? No, you watch it on the biggest screen possible. That's where an epic should be watched and will be watched. All right? Most kids will watch TikTok clips of it, though, and be like, oh, I saw the movie. All right. The Odyssey by Rachel, who says, The Odyssey is an epic, and it's source material with that level of Christopher Nolan spark that makes it something special. It's a story of love and loss, and takes you on quite the journey in only the way Nolan knows how. Breathtaking, bold, and perfection. They're hyping this shit up, aren't they? Eric Davis. Let's see what Eric Davis had to say. Who is Eric Davis? I have no clue, but let's see what he had to say. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is an absolute triumph and a crowning cinematic achievement from one of the great filmmakers of our time. It feels like everything Nolan has been working toward with IMAX has culminated here. Another ad. The production design is incredible. The action is... I got to go to X to read all this. I'm not reading all that, man. You could have just summed that up in less characters. Someone's paying for an X subscription to get all their diatribic thoughts out. All right. Perry Nemiroff. I know Perry Nemiroff. The Odyssey is a filmmaking feast, a grand and gripping rendition of Homer's epic, and one that feels uniquely Christopher Nolan. It's sincerely hard to imagine any other filmmaker on the planet being able to bring that source material to the screen with as much scale and scope. I mean, these are hyped up reviews. I mean, I have not read one criticism towards this movie. Not one. Not one. If you're going to praise it and you're going to blow it this hard, you got to give a little criticism, just a little something, unless this movie's perfection, and that's a possibility. Now, I will see The Odyssey at an early press screening Monday night, and not only am I just seeing The Odyssey early, no. I'm seeing it on a legitimate 70 millimeter IMAX screen, the largest one or at least the largest one in the state of Indiana. But I'm looking forward to the experience. I really am. No, the IMAX seats sort of suck. They're they don't recline. You're sitting ramrod straight. There's not a lot of leg room. You know, it's just like for 3 hours. I know I'm going to get sciatica sitting there, but that's okay. It's a small price to pay. And I'm hoping this movie delivers. Let's read a couple more. And I want to know what you guys think about the upcoming Odyssey. Are you guys looking forward to it? Share your thoughts down below. Okay, Matt says, Christopher Nolan's adaptation of The Odyssey is an epic, and movies get... as epic as movies get, with some of the most breathtaking set pieces he's ever attempted. A colossal achievement of scale, even by Nolan standards. Its commitment to capturing as much as possible on camera using new IMAX... Blah, 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 blah. All right, what else? The Odyssey is surprisingly natural and less despairing. Oppenheimer's follow-up about a man haunted by defying the gods and dooming civilization. This one fights to avenge his own hubris. IMAX, obviously immense, too clunky to be S-tier Nolan, but the last act rewards the journey. Interesting. So he says it's a little clunky. Now, you could make that argument with the majority of Christopher Nolan movies. A lot of them kind of do have this slight clunkiness to them because very few of his films are told in a linear approach. I mean, the Batman movies, the Batman Begins had a lot of flashbacks. But I imagine this one is not linear either. I feel like there's going to be a lot of flashbacks. But just an assumption. Okay, let me read one more. From Andrew, who says, The Odyssey is a staggering achievement. It boasts spectacular and even terrifying set pieces that feel like Christopher Nolan fully embracing the horrors of Greek mythology. Yet, how he tastefully oh my God, recontextualizes the story for the modern day is what has kept my head buzzing. All right, man. So those are some thoughts from people who have watched The Odyssey. I guess I'll savor the flavor for my own experience. And yeah, so we'll just give it a week. We'll give it a week and we'll see what the real consensus for the film is. I will shoot a first reaction immediately watching the movie. I will crap that out on the internet as quickly as I can. So keep a lookout for that. Probably Monday night, Tuesday at some point. Once again, I'm looking forward to the movie. I hope it's glorious. I hope it's everything I've ever wanted from an epic sword and sandals flick. All right. It sounds really dumb. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have some theories on the movie. And the thing is, it like I've heard that the ending closing song for the credits is a Travis Scott song, and it just feels like it's like they have to put all these like little dumb things in the movie to like cater to a younger audience because they know like they need that audience to get the box office and also to appeal to a TikTok crowd who will talk about it and share clips of the movie. So it's like they have to do all these little dumb things for marketing to appease like mass audiences. And I just don't, and I'm hoping that those things aren't blatantly obvious throughout the film and kind of dumb it down. It's like when you start catering to the lowest common denominator and you drop the IQ of your film so low to where it's mass audiences can comprehend what you're saying. I don't want it to go that direction. I'm hoping it doesn't. I have faith in Christopher Nolan not to do that. Just, you know, when you make something too widely appetizing to mass appeal, sometimes it just doesn't stand the test of time. But I'm hoping it's great. I'm hoping it's a phenomenal epic. I don't mean woke audience. I mean, not really. That's not what I mean. I mean, I'm talking about like the same people who would go watch Fast and Furious 27. You know, you need their money to make billions of dollars at the box office. You need the same people who will go watch every shitty Marvel movie, no matter how bad it is, and say, well, it wasn't that bad. I didn't mind. But really, it's a pile of garbage that cost $200 million that won't be remembered the next week, that has really lackluster CGI, and its script was written in 2 minutes by an AI software. That's the kind of slop I'm talking about. But once again, Hollywood needs those box office numbers. So you got to cater to everyone. You can't be niche anymore. There's no money in niche. None whatsoever. Travis Scott is box office. I guess, man. Yeah, pure cinema. I don't know. Listen, I've heard his one song Fiend, and then I don't think I've ever heard another Travis Scott song. I really haven't. Now, as far as his acting ability goes, I'll hold off my judgment until I see the movie. I really will. But I just don't think his audience is really interested in a mythological epic. I'm just an assumption. I don't know. Call me crazy. Nolan didn't cater in Oppenheimer, and he didn't. You're absolutely right. He did not. And I'm hoping he doesn't do the same thing here. And I'm hoping maybe it's just marketing. Maybe the marketing is just catering to that demographic and the movie actually won't. And if that's the case, so be it. That's what marketing should do. It should make the movie readily available to all audiences to get them interested to come see the movie. And then once they're sitting down in the seat that they paid $17 to do so, then the movie can be whatever it wants to be because it already has your money. It doesn't have to apologize anymore. You're already in the theater. So that could be the case, absolutely. All right. We got some members in here. How you guys doing? I'm seeing Hans Zimmer live in October. That's awesome, man. Have a good time. I'd like to see, is it actually Hans Zimmer live? They're not just playing like Hans Zimmer music with another orchestra? If so, that's pretty awesome. That's not a cat in the back. That was a dog. It was an oversized rat who mutated from the sewers down below after swimming around in the ooze. I made a funny. That was my impression of Master Splinter. When will you see it, John? I will see it Monday. All right. Let's go to the next question here. And the next question comes from... Oh gosh, where am I at? Spencer Sergadori. Spencer Gadari. Okay, Spencer, here it goes, man. Hey, Johnny Cakes. Can you give me a Jeff Goldblum impression with as many uhs as humanly possible? I'm high on Saturday night, and this is perfect. Love your content, bro. Well, Spencer, you're going to watch the live show. Now you're getting out of the car. Okay. Must go faster. Must go faster. Must get a party popper to the face. So thank you for the question, Spencer. Thank you so much. I did just watch Independence Day a few days ago in celebration of 4th of July. And Jeff Goldblum, man, that's just pure charisma and likability. It's a countdown. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... Oh, who we got here? We got Night King 0130. How's it going, Night King? How's it going tonight? John, the Jackie Chan 4K collection was released. I'd get it for Rumble in the Bronx alone. It has the original version without the hilarious dubbing. Hey, Angelo! I like me Rumble in the Bronx, and I like the terrible dubbing of the movie. I think it's what adds to the flavor and charm. That's how I saw the movie, and that's how I want to see it again. I love the shitty dubbing in Rumble in the Bronx. My cushion! I love that little paralyzed kid playing his Sega Game Gear without a game in it on the bus. Not only was he paralyzed from the waist down, I think he had a mental illness as well. But anyway, really nice little kid, I guess. But anyway, what was my point? I like Rumble in the Bronx quite a bit. Thanks for the question, Night King. And by the way, Night King, you get a glorious party popper. So thank you. Okay. The next one comes from... What did you think of Disclosure Day? I thought it was pretty bad. I have 4 videos talking in depth about Disclosure Day. If you go a few live shows back with the thumbnail of Emily Blunt looking shocked with my stupid face on it, we talked about Disclosure Day for a good 20 minutes. And then I have a couple videos on the Flickpick channel talking about Disclosure Day. But I'll give you some more thoughts on it. Why not? That's what we're doing tonight. It's a Q&A, so I guess I'm here to answer your questions. I thought it was one of the most disappointing movies I've seen in a very long time. And the thing is, after you watch it, you know, if this was just directed by some random guy and it was a Netflix movie, okay, that would have sucked. But the fact that it was directed by Steven Spielberg, one of the best and greatest living directors today, I don't know why he made that movie. I don't know what the point of it was. I don't know what he had to say, because the movie ultimately doesn't say anything new. I mean, there's a few interesting concepts, but they're never explored in depth. They don't really do anything to make the movie interesting. They have all these half-baked ideas that they kind of crap into the movie, but none of them have a true payoff. And then you have a movie about aliens, Disclosure Day. You think this can be profound, groundbreaking shit. And then it just turns out, in spoilers, but who cares? It's just like little gray alien guys who look like B-rate props in a sci-fi original movie that you would have watched on cable television at 2 o'clock in the morning back in 1997. And what do they do with these aliens? Do they have this thought-provoking conversation where they're sitting down in an interrogation cell translating what they're saying? No, they just sit around looking drunk. at crash sites. And that was it. That was the movie. And I don't understand why it was made. I can't comprehend why it was made. My only theory is, and I'm going to stand by this, is I think Steven Spielberg was compelled to make this movie by some organization, which I don't even know the initials for because it's so top secret, as a way to soften the blow of when we actually do find out there's actual extraterrestrials in existence. And this was like to kind of judge what we think about it. That's my only theory. And if that's not even the case, then I have no clue why Steven Spielberg made this big pile of shit. I have absolutely no clue. I don't even comprehend it. I can't. Like, this was not a movie that you need to go watch in theaters. It was not a summer spectacle. And the movie came out 3 weeks ago, and guess what? It's almost like the movie never existed. And just think about it. They spent like $200 million on this. Oh, just easy come, easy go. Here you go. It's no wonder studios are going bankrupt. It's because they greenlight junk like this. You could have made, when I step back and look at a big pile of steaming shit like Disclosure Day, which that's what it is. And if you disagree with me and you thought Disclosure Day was legitimately a good quality cinematic experience, please leave those thoughts in the chat over here. I would love to hear from you. And that's okay. We can have different opinions, all right? But my point is, you could have made like 250 obsessions for the cost of Disclosure Day. And from a studio standpoint, from profitability, wouldn't you rather make 200 great $1 million movies? And even if only 10 of them are successful, wouldn't that be better than one big crappy movie that costs the same? So, I don't know. I don't understand Hollywood's logic. I probably never will. How you doing, Batflick? I'm doing fine. You'll be in a past shell forever. Sorry, I was watching Dark Knight earlier, and I just, man, watching Batman just makes me feel good again. I'm telling you, like, going back and rewatching Batman movies, that was my original inspiration for like getting into movies, or getting into YouTube at least. And like whenever there's a new Batman movie coming out, that's what gets me excited to talk about stuff on YouTube. And we do have one coming up in about a year or so, but watching The Dark Knight again just reinvigorated my love a little bit. There's just something about that symbol of justice that just really gets both my bat nips hard, and that's if you know what I mean. All right. This is not John. It can't be. This is Batflick. All right. Yes. It made $220 million, so not bad for a poo-poo. Yeah, it made $220 million on a $150 million budget. I don't think it was a profitable movie. If it was profitable, it made like $7.23. Are you the new Batman? I could be. I might be. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Yeah, shut up, Spielberg, and give me Alien Pew Pew, not Alien Poo Poo. Yeah, dude, I just... Same. At this point, why doesn't Steven Spielberg just direct comic book movies or something, man? It's just like, go direct a comic book movie. I will... Okay, let me just get back to these questions over here. Martha Wayne's magic wand. That's awesome. What happened to your Toyota CHR? Ooh, you're getting a little too personal. No, I'm just kidding. My Toyota CHR. So it was a cool car. I really liked it. But at 70,000 miles, the transmission was starting to make this whiny sound. And in Toyotas, they have something called a CVT transmission. And sometimes those transmissions can start wearing out prematurely. So you start hearing this slight whiny sound like this. And Mine started doing that. And I was not going to take the risk or the chance on having to spend $8,000 on replacing it. So I traded it in and got a Mazda CX-30 and paid just a little bit of money on the difference. I bought a car that was like, I think it was like a year old at the time when I bought it. So that's what I did with the CHR. But I think I'm in the market right now for a pickup truck. I think I've come to that point in my life where I need a pickup truck. I'm just tired of not being able to put large things in my vehicle to transport them. And plus, it would help with my day job quite a bit. So I might be in the market for a pickup truck. I really just don't want to take on a new car payment. Unfortunately, I'm not the real Bruce Wayne. I don't have billions of dollars in dead parents and a butler. No, 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 no. I have lots of credit card debt, a shitty bat suit, and a mortgage. So that's what happened to my Toyota CHR, and thank you for asking. Someone said, I like Dan Murrell. I like Dan Murrell too. I've met Dan Murrell many of times. I was on movie fights with him, and I've always liked Dan. He's always had pretty good takes on movies. Super nice guy. John, will you save James Gunn's universe? The only way to save James Gunn's universe at this point is to let James Gunn go. The man just has a formula, and it worked for Guardians of the Galaxy. It did. It absolutely did. But his interpretation of what a comic book movie should be isn't what a comic book movie should always be. It shouldn't always have a needle drop of some like subverting expectations funny song. It really takes you out of the moment. And I think his formula is becoming a bit exhausting, tedious, tiresome, and it's just not funny anymore. And also, when it comes to the DCU, I just don't understand their strategy. You started with Superman. Okay, that's a pretty good move from the DC. All right, Superman, by all means, he's kind of the superhero who started it all. But your follow-up movie to that should not have been Supergirl. No, no, no. Supergirl should have been a movie that you made 8 to 10 movies down the road when she's established and a bit beloved and you already have a built-in fan base. The next movie should have been like Green Lantern, Batman, one of the pillars of the DCU, movies that are guaranteed to make $1 billion. I don't think anyone assumed Supergirl would make $1 billion. Never. And it has no proven track record or success to say it would. So anyway, as far as the DCU goes, I have no clue. I don't comprehend what they're doing. And it's really disappointing because a couple years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago, maybe less, I remember when they announced that James Gunn was coming on board and they had all these cool ideas. They're going to make the Batman the brave and bold. They were going to make and the original concept for the Supergirl movie, if you just would have done what the original concept was, they were going to showcase Kara on Krypton after it had exploded and was this like post-apocalyptic wasteland of people just living in filth and disgust and poverty and struggling to survive, almost like a Mad Max on Krypton type movie. And then eventually she comes to Earth, or maybe there were going to be more flashbacks going back and forth. But doesn't that sound like an immensely more interesting, epic movie showcasing more of a character study on the character Supergirl to get you to like her and show a different side of her, rather than this generic hogwash that they crapped out with some sidekick character, little kid that nobody wanted to see and nobody asked for, that did not help the box office whatsoever? And you think to yourself, why did you do that? So those are my thoughts on James Gunn. A pickup truck. So the midlife crisis rumors are true. Well, you're talking to a guy pushing 40 wearing a Batman mask at 12:30 at night. Drinking a bourbon. And the biggest question you have to ask yourself, am I wearing pants right now? And the answer to that is no, I am not. So anyway, I'll save that video for my members only stream a little bit later. I'm just kidding. I'm wearing shorts. Don't get weird. All right. Or am I? All right, let's keep going here, guys. The next one comes from, and thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on this late night edition of the live show. I know a lot of people like the late night shows. I do too. It's just really hard to make these happen when you have a normal life. Back in my 20s and early 30s, this was nothing. Pushing midnight now? Oh, it hurts, and I pay for it the next day. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Wade's Movie World 6592, who says, "Hey, John, if you were ever president of the United States, would you sign an executive order keeping Blu-rays and 4Ks around?" Absolutely. Not only would I do that, I would mandate a bill that states with every new release, a new physical copy must come out. But here's the kicker. Let me make up something. Hang on. Before the movie can stream, the physical release gets at least 2 weeks on the shelves before it streams on any digital platforms. That's all I have to say. I think that should be mandated. I don't care if it's right or wrong, I stand by it. Because I really do think that would be better for everyone. I think that would be good for the economy. I think that would be good for local businesses. Because, hey, if you really want to watch the movie, you can just go buy it. And guess what? The beauty of just going to buy the physical copy is it's actually better for you as a consumer. You will own it for the rest of your life. And if you get tired of watching said movie, you can sell it. You can make some of your money back. And also, it brings more foot traffic into stores, which are dying every day. So I really do think if I mandated physical media gets at least 2 weeks to strive under the glorious sunlight and grow, I really think that would be best for everyone. I really do. So that's what I would do. And thank you for the question. And by the way, speaking of physical media, and by the way, you get a Blockbuster bukkake right to your face. I do want to talk about a couple new physical media releases that were sent to me over the last week. The first one is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Now, I have not watched this movie yet. I believe it is streaming on HBO Max. Now, when it comes to this movie, nothing about it looked good to me. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. The trailers didn't look compelling or interesting. The cinematography looked gray and gloomy and dark. And when I think about a movie called The Mummy, my original thought process goes to Brendan Fraser in the 1940s, shooting mummies with a shotgun. But beyond that, it doesn't go to a modern day telling of a little girl who was mummified. Just call me crazy, that just doesn't do much for me, and it just feels like a waste of the title. It's just like, that's not exactly what I want to see with a mummy movie. That sounds like the least interesting idea you could do. So anyway, that's The Mummy. Did you guys like this movie? It's on 4K. I will give it a chance. I don't want to judge it too harshly without watching it. But really nothing about this looks like a movie that could have been made in 2010 and we would have watched it once and never talking about it again. Okay? John is the man. Thank you for that. I effing love you, John. Well, I effing love you too, sir. I heard it was muh. Oh, I'm bringing back... Yeah, and listen, if I did run for political office, and maybe I will, and I'll do it wearing this Batman mask, okay? If I did, I would also mandate Blockbuster go back into business. And I really do think if we can spend billions of dollars on nonsensical nothingness, there's no reason that we can't make an investment to bring back video rental stores, or at least Blockbuster. And I'll tell you why. And I have a great reason and a great sound logic why we should bring back Blockbuster. This raises morale. This provides a community setting to where people will leave their house, go out amongst the unwashed masses and congregate in a store and have a shared experience. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It gives you purpose. It gives you hope. And most importantly, the best days of my life as a kid, and I do miss it. I miss it so much. And it's so sad that a new generation of children will never be able to experience this. But if you did bring back Blockbuster on Friday night, you get home from school, your mom says, we're going to order pizza. We're going to pick it up on the way home. On the way home from where? On the way home from Blockbuster, bitch. And then you go to Blockbuster and the sun is setting. And it's just a great summer day. The sun is glowing. You can almost taste the pizza, all right? You get into Blockbuster and the smell of plastic washes over you like an awesome wave of relief. You walk up and down the aisles and you just hope that brand new release, the one that you've been wanting and needing isn't sold out, okay? But that's the beauty of it. There's a risk and there's also a reward. And I think if you have a risk and you have a reward, that's instant gratification, okay? You don't got to shoot up for it. You don't got to spend $1 million. You don't have to jump off a plane. No. You just go into Blockbuster, okay? And when that one movie that you wanted is hiding behind the box art, there's 500 copies, but there's one on the bottom corner because no one noticed it except for you. You pick it up, and it's like a trophy that you can hold above your head and take home. And to celebrate said victory, you go home and pop it into the VHS player. That's right. We're bringing back VHS, baby. No, it can be Blu-ray. It can be whatever you want. But I'm just saying, there's just something so gratifying about that, isn't there? And then sometimes, the other great thing about Blockbuster or any video store was you walk in expecting to get one movie, and you're definitely going to get the new release that week. But sometimes, more often than not, you discover a movie that you didn't know existed. And what sold you on it was the box art. And you just don't get that with streaming. You just click around and nothing feels appetizing. It just doesn't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. And the other thing about video rental stores, I think this will also, I'm going to continue on with this, okay? I have a lot to say, so keep getting those questions in. I will answer all of them, but I'm going to go off on a diatribe here. Maybe a tangent, even possibly a rant. Just give me time to build up to it. But I really think there's a direct correlation between the lack of video rental stores, the lack of physical media, and the growing epidemic of attention deficit disorder. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. And if you have ADHD, just hang on. I'll try to make my point very quickly. Here, I'll wave my hands around like this to keep you entertained. I'll play some Subway Surfers at the bottom of the screen. But my point is, when you went to a video rental store and you purchased that movie that you had 2 days to watch, you had to take that home and become dedicated to watching it. It wasn't like you could just click on and off on a streaming service and stop and go whenever you wanted, and it's always there. No. You have a set time to watch this movie. You paid to watch it, and you're going to watch it. And I just think there's something about that. I really do. So I guess my point is, I think video rental stores were a fundamental part of society, and the fact that they no longer exist, well, I think it's one of the leading causes of the decay of our civilization. And I stand by everything I just said. So anyway, what are your thoughts on video rental stores? So let me know down below. Our next physical media release I did want to talk about. With all that said, I want to talk about The Office here. This is the Superfan extended episodes. This is the Blu-ray. There's 25 hours of unaired footage. This is pretty awesome. This has every single season, seasons 1 through 9 in here on Blu-ray. Now, I'm a fan of The Office. I'm not like the diehard biggest fan of it. I definitely think like seasons like 2, 3, 4, basically until Michael Scott left, I was a fan of this. And then once Andy came in to be like the branch manager, I just was like, something about that guy has always rubbed me the wrong way. It always feels like he's trying too hard to be funny, and I just never thought he was funny. Like when I watched The Hangover starring, what is his name? What's the guy who plays Andy in The Office. Anyway, like when he's in The Hangover, like I think he like ruins the movie almost. I just don't find him funny. Ed, isn't his name like Ed Helms? Is it Ed Helms or something like that? Anyway, so this is really cool because the thing about The Office is it feels like the rights to this get pushed around all the time. It was on Netflix and it went to Peacock. So I think it's really cool to own this on physical media because guess what? They can never take this away from me. Unless, of course, they break in my house, kill me, and then take it. But that's the only way. Over my dead body, no one will ever own this. So yeah, this is really cool. My wife's a huge fan of The Office, more so than I am. But I've always appreciated the show. Definitely, I like the mid-tier seasons. And Dwight Schrute, I still think is one of the funniest characters in any television show ever in existence. The funniest scene in The Office for me is when they go to Dwight's farm and his cousin, they pull up in a car and his cousin's running beside the car like this for no reason and it just runs off into the woods. I think that shit was hilarious. All right, let's see. Righteous Dare Bear says, "Dude, I'm so with you. Bring up I bring up the same points." Steve Goldie says, "When I would go to Blockbuster with my parents, I would spend 90% of the time alone until I decided what I wanted. They no longer existed." Absolutely. Yeah, when you go to Blockbuster with your family, you don't like hang out with your family. No, 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 no. You're on a journey. You're on a mission. You're a solo movie enthusiast at this point. You go up and down the aisles by yourself because every man has a choice to make, and you can only make that choice alone. That's what you do in Blockbuster. Then you go up to your mom, and sometimes, listen, I'll tell you the trick. The trick in Blockbuster when you're a stupid little kid and you want to rent something a little bit shady, a little bit sketchy, maybe it's got boobies in it. Who knows? I don't know. My parents were never picky about stuff like that. They really like allowed me to watch. Like I was watching Silence of the Lambs when I was like 5 years old and Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 4 years old. Okay. That might explain a lot about my psychological issues, but let me elaborate. My parents would allow me to pretty much rent anything I wanted, unless they had like triple X on the cover or something. But what you could do though, if you were with like sometimes like my friends' parents were a little more uptight, so we had to get sneaky with stuff. Okay, we get a little sneaky, and what you could do. What do you need? You gotta go outside? Okay. You take one movie like Ninja Turtles or something and you put it on top of the other movie that you wanted to rent. Or sometimes, like, depending on what video store you went in, you could slip it into another case. And then, like, the clerk would just take it out, scan it, and, like, hand it to you. And no one's reading the title after that. That's what we had to do sometimes. What do you need? You need to go outside? Oh, no? Okay. All right. John, have you ever done a review on planes, trains, and automobiles? I believe I've talked about it multiple times. I don't think I've ever done a dedicated review for it, but I quite enjoyed the movie. I really enjoy it. I think John Candy and Steve Martin in that film are like one of the best comedy duos of all time. Definitely the main inspiration for movies like Tommy Boy. And that scene where Steve Martin is just having the worst day ever, where he's walking down the expressway looking for his rental car. Oh, I think that's glorious. What do you need? Okay. I don't think she needs to go out. I let her out right before the live show. All right. Now, if she poops on the floor, it's my fault. Let's go to the next question here. I'll let her out in just a couple minutes if she keeps... I think she just wants to go to bed, to be honest with you. I think that's it. She just wants to go to bed. I think that's all. All right, the next one comes from... Oh, gosh, let me scroll up here. The next one comes from T Man's 4, who says, "Did you see the new Evil Dead? I did and liked it." I have not seen it yet. The thing about every movie, come here. The thing about every movie that came out this weekend, don't get me wrong, I do want to see the new Evil Dead movie. I just, I had a pretty rough physical week and I was kind of wiped out and did not have the energy this weekend. And I just didn't feel like going to the theater to watch it. You know, it was like one of those movies I just didn't feel like I had to leave my house to go see it right away. Maybe I'll check it out in the next week or so when I have a little downtime. It'll probably be on streaming in like 9 days because that's typically how it goes. I do want to check it out. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a few mediocre things about it, but it definitely sounds like an interesting enough movie to check out. And then the next movie that came out was Moana, the live action movie. And I did have something to say about Moana, that live action movie. It wasn't good, I promise you that. But here's what I said on X. And by the way, if you don't follow me on X, you don't have to, but if you want to, it's at the Flickpick. Here's what I had to say about this steamy pile of garbage. Moana live action is derivative, uninspired, slop cash grab. The Rock's wig looks like hair you'd find in a shower drain. By the way, I haven't watched the movie, but if I'm wrong, don't correct me. But I don't think I am. And really, isn't that the review of the movie? If I went and saw the movie, that's exactly what I would say about the movie. That's it. It's just a live action rendition that's not as good or compelling because this story works better in animation. Some things just work better in a different medium, and Moana is that. But also, it came out less than 10 years ago. We just got Moana 2 like a year ago. Now they're crapping out a live action remake. It just feels like such a blatant cash grab. And I just don't know if I could ever bring my, like, the only reason I would see this movie is to make a video talking about how much I hate it. And doesn't that sound sort of depressing? It's just like I have to go spend money, waste 2 hours of my life to watch crap that I know is crap, just to talk about said crap, to make a video about it. And I just don't know. I think I'm at a different point in my life. Now listen here. Now, when it does get crapped out on Disney Plus, it'll probably be crapped out on Disney Plus very soon because I think this movie is bombing at the box office, as it should, and I hope Disney pays a lot of money I hope they lose a lot of money on this because this will be a valuable lesson for Disney. Okay, don't make uninspired slop. Nobody wants it. We're done with this. Okay, all right. So please fire whoever's in charge creatively. And let's start over. Because this is a detriment to society and a detriment to cinema. And it should go to hell for its sins against humanity. The Rock has low-key lost the plot. Yeah, The Rock is no longer a box office draw. He's actually a box office bomb. They should just call him the Bomb. That's what The Rock is now. And listen, I love me some Rock, man. When The Rock's doing rock shit and good movies, I love him. But you can only be in so many terrible movies that feel uninspired, where you have too much creative control, and you can just tell like he has too much creative control over what he's doing. You know, you had Shazam, or not Shazam, Black Adam, which was just the most dated superhero movie of all time that feels like it should have came out 20 years ago. Then he was in The Fighting Machine, which could have been a cool movie and had some cool stuff about it, which I didn't hate The Fighting Machine. I like grimy movies based on real people that have sort of a character study to them. And there's a lot of things about the movie that I liked, but she's sleeping. She just wanted to sleep in my lap. That's all that's happening right now. This dog is sleeping in my lap. But yeah, man, The Fighting Machine just missed the mark. You know, I was hoping for something more like The Wrestler starring Mickey Rourke, and it didn't quite get there. And then you have this crap, Moana, live action, that looks like it was shot in front of a green screen with The Rock wearing a shitty wig. Like, why? Who is this for? What's the next movie? Frozen? That's going to be the next live action Disney movie, Frozen, right? He's going to be in Scorsese's next movie. Yeah, maybe Scorsese will get a good performance out of The Rock. But superhero movies and live action Disney remakes are not the route he should be going. Yes, the smashing machine. Did I say the fighting machine? Really, what's the difference? It's the smashing machine, John. How dare you misspeak after talking for an hour and a half with very impromptu, long-winded rants and speeches, remembering billions of facts and being entertaining along the way as a dog sleeps in your lap. Don't you ever misspeak again. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Oh yeah, the Tooth Fairy. Who could forget? I guess The Rock's really made a lot of bad movies, hasn't he? Uranium Cranium says, I just got cut off due to a firmware update. Well, I hope you're all updated and back, man. Live action Zootopia, but every actor is wearing a furry suit. I would watch a live action Zootopia as long as just have Jason Bateman with like a furry tail shoved up his ass. That's it. That's the only thing that makes it Zootopia. All the actors just wear like bunny ears and tails. Pain and Gain was all right. No, Pain and Gay was Pain and Gay. Pain and Gay. I think that was the Brazers parody movie. Pain and Gay. Starring The Rock and Mark Hardon. Hey, I gotta get a pump. But then again, how different of a movie would it have been, right? Anyway. No, I love The Rundown, man. The Rundown was great. I genuinely think The Rundown might just be The Rock's best movie. From start to finish. I think that is, if you just look at The Rock's filmography as just like action movies, I think The Rundown is probably his best movie. I really do. I think it's the most fun. You got Christopher Walken. You know, these villagers are gonna work for free. You hear me? This is my jungle now. Okay? Yeah, I thought Pain and Gain was great. And Sean William Scott still like had a career in Hollywood at that time. I think it's one of Peter Berg's better movies as well, too. Doom sucked, man. I'm sorry. I like Fast Five with The Rock and Fast. I think The Rock and Fast Five, that was The Rock's peak, physically speaking. The Rock and Fast Five was so jacked up like a giant baked potato who looked like he was about to pop. The Rock was literally sweating baby oil in Fast Five. Fast Five was the last big epic Fast and Furious movie that didn't lose the plot and still like felt like a Fast and Furious movie without feeling so over the top to where it just took you out of the movie. But no, I liked Fast Five. Everything after that sucked. I'm sorry. More like the trashing machine. Yeah, but Emily Blunt was good in it. What is Scorsese's next movie with The Rock called? She is sleeping right now. She's snoring. Jason Nelson says, those were good times. Yes, they were, man. All right, let's go to the next question up here. What do we got? I'm letting you guys build up the questions. Here we go. The next one comes from 19. I'm sorry. Here, I'm going to put her on my sofa back here. Hang on. Okay. All right, I'm back. It's okay. You can sleep now. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Night King 01 back again says it has all the versions of the film and 4K is great. It's five of Jackie Chan's biggest 90 hits. The original cut is longer, but the dub is hilarious and nostalgic. Absolutely. Yeah, he's talking about the new Jackie Chan release. That's cool, man. The only movie I'd probably want out of there is like Rumble in the Bronx, but thank you for the question, Night King 01, once again. I don't think she likes the party poppers. Okay. All right, the next one comes from Alan Smithy 9227, who says, the best part of The Dark Knight is that fat, schlubby Chicago style guy with the huge submarine sandwich in his hand watching as the bat pod blast off. Oh yeah, man. Yes. Oh yeah, he's sitting there on the stoop and the bat pod comes out of the tumbler. Yes. I will talk extensively about like 50 scenes in The Dark Knight in this upcoming movie night video. Look out for that. I rewatched it tonight just to kind of like refresh my brain on it. And there's a lot of stuff I like, some things I critique. But yeah, I always liked that scene. And then the thing is, I say this in the video, but the thing is about that bat pod scene where it first gets crapped out of the tumbler. My theory was the bat pod leading up to that movie actually did come from the tumbler because I was a nerd. I was a nerd for Batman Begins so hard. For the 2 years leading up to The Dark Knight, I was on every movie forum talking about The Dark Knight. And I was like, listen, guys, the bat pod comes from the tumbler. Look at the wheel size. It's the exact same as the front two wheels. I'm telling you, this is like an ejection escape pod. And people would debate with me and say, no, it doesn't. You're stupid. But anyway, I was right. And I'm going to pat myself on my back right now about that. Cool setup. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, this is my typical setup. So if you're just now joining me, thank you so much. But back there, I got a new Batman cookie jar Facebook Marketplace for like $10. This thing goes for like $100 on eBay. So I thought that was a really, really sweet deal. But anyway, I do quite enjoy that scene as well, Alan. So thank you, man. Thank you for the question. All right, we got Carter Lovejoy in the house tonight. How's it going, buddy? Have you seen Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair yet? It's both films combined as one as Tarantino originally intended, and I can't wait for the upcoming 4K Blu-ray. Well, Carter Lovejoy, I have not. I have not watched that yet, and I've been meaning to do it. I just don't have 5 hours to give to it. Now, here's the thing. What do you need? Here's the thing. I wish... here, I don't wish. Kill Bill, I like the movies, but they're not my favorite Tarantino movies. They're not. You know, they're so derivative of the genre that he's trying to capture that it's just not my favorite. I like a lot about them, but like I'm more of a Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight, Django Unchained, Reservoir Dogs, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood type of Tarantino guy. And I believe he said like Kill Bill is like his favorite movie or something that he's made. So that's just my personal preference. Hey, John, are you excited about the Batman Part 2? Who do you hope is the villain? I've heard so many rumors about it being Hush or Two-Face at this point, or the Court of Owls. And the thing is, like, I don't want to see the Court of Owls. I don't care about the Court of Owls. Really, like... If they're in the movie as like a third-rate villain, what do you need? Are you good? Here, give me 2 minutes, guys. I'm going to let her out. I will be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Give me 2 seconds. Justice, because my dog had a poop. All right. I'm going to let her tinkle outside for a little bit, and we'll get back into the questions here. So thank you guys so much for hanging on. All right. So yeah, I don't care if it's the Court of Owls. They don't do much for me. It's just a group of elitists in Gotham City who want to control and manipulate things. And it's just like, isn't that what all the politicians in Gotham do? Aren't they dirty and corrupt and want to control things? So that doesn't do much for me. I'm sorry. Who do I want it to be? I think like a new rendition of Mr. Freeze would be cool. Something like that. But by the way, Carter Lovejoy, thank you for the question. The next one comes from Eric Boschan again. How's it going, Eric? Once again. Thoughts on Tarantino only doing 10 movies? We need more. But you see Spielberg and Ridley's recent output, and I think they should have done similar. Yeah, there's an old saying where a director only has so many arrows to shoot. And once you run out of those arrows, well, you start making duds. And it does seem to be the case with a lot of these directors. They're losing their touch. Maybe they don't care as much, or maybe they just want to crap these ideas out before they die. But like with a movie like Disclosure Day, it's like, that's the best movie you had to. That's the best one you had, Spielberg. That's the story you wanted to tell. I don't believe that. Not for a second, man. All right. The next one comes from. But as far as Tarantino only making 10 movies, he has said that. But I also think, what a bad thing to say, because now you're like at a standstill of making your 10th film. And it's like, if you have 5 more good ideas, man, make those good ideas. Don't just limit yourself. Now he's going to like procrastinate on what his last movie should be to the point where he almost never makes it. Like he was going to make a movie called The Film Critic, which I thought would have been awesome. Like you should have made that. That should have been made. Or sell it to Netflix and let them make it or something, kind of like what they're doing with the Cliff Booth sequel. But anyway, man, thank you for the question. Justice. Okay, the next one comes from Mac 9360, who says, Batman, where's John? Did he take the day off? Well, I think subconsciously maybe he did. Maybe I need to wear this mask. This mask brings me back to the glory days of YouTube. I can truly be more than a man, but I can be that film critic that you need. I'm not the Batman. I'm the flick pick. I don't know, man. I was talking about The Dark Knight earlier, and I had the mask on, and I was wearing this shit already, and I was like, why not just... I like that. And the other thing I like about this is I'll just keep the tag on it right here. I'll keep the little tag where it's hanging on the shelf. I'll keep it in place. I think it adds to the flavor of it. I can hang my mask up when I'm done with it. All right. The next one comes from Billy M 6486 says, when will you pull a Curry Barker make a movie? Dude, sometimes when I see these YouTube filmmakers making movies, and keep in mind, I've never claimed to be a filmmaker or a screenwriter by any means. I've had some good ideas. I think I could help produce a movie. I just don't know if I would want to sit there and direct a movie and manage everything and be in charge of everyone. I don't know if I have that in me. I really don't. But with all that said, if you gave me $786,000 and said, John, come up with a good idea, I think I could come up with something for you. I do. I really do. Obviously, a horror movie in that genre would probably be the best to be profitable. Let's all be honest with ourselves. Like you can make a low budget horror film and make it profitable. It's like the least forgiving audience, and it's just like the one genre of film that just always does well as long as it's slightly competent. And I get it by all means. So I would almost make like a horror comedy movie. I think that's like almost what you need to do. Like you can say whatever you want to do. You can like, so here's my thought. You can kind of make the movie you want to make as long as it's considered a horror movie, right? So like I want to make a vigilante bank robbery movie, but I'll try to make it a horror movie. That's the trick. All right. All right, give me two. Let me go let the dog in. I can't leave her out there too long. She's an old pup. So give me 2 more seconds. I'll be right back. So if you guys have to take a bathroom break, get a refill of a beverage, and I will get a refill of a beverage. I got 194 people in here right now, and don't you leave me. I promise you. I will be right back. And we're going to talk about a lot of glorious. We got hundreds of questions still to go, so I'll be right back. Just give me 90 seconds. And we're back. Or at least I think we are. I think I fixed it. I'm not sure. And we're back. Okay, thank God. Okay. I came back and I wasn't looking and I clicked in stream. I was like, ooh. But I had to click in stream on actual YouTube to end it. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. I've been drinking a little too much tonight, guys. I'm sorry. All right. But let's get back to the questions. The next one comes from MacMac9360. We answered that one already. Okay, here we go. IllMagic94. How's it going, buddy? I've never been too much of a huge fan of sequels when it comes to horror and thrillers. However, Obsession is a movie that can really go for multiple sequels based around one wish. Yeah, the thing about Obsession was when they showed, and where was it? Obsession items for, I don't know. Let me see if I can find what I'm talking about here. Anyway, when he was in that store and they had all those different items for sale, like there was like the little stick you could break to make a wish. There was all kinds of weird stuff. There was like a voodoo doll, and there was something else up there on the shelf. And think about it. Each one of those items could all be potential sequels. And they could all be awesome standalone movies. And I think I would like to see a multitude of those. Now, I think you need maybe the same director, or maybe you need another competent director. That could be, doable. But I definitely think there's a lot of cool ideas you could branch off of from the movie Obsession, right? I'd like to see that. Absolutely. Yeah, just refresh it or something. I'm sorry. Just refresh the. Just give it a quick refresh. All right. All right. But thanks for the question, man. And I think as I would like Obsession. Now I've watched Obsession once. There's your party popper. I would like to watch it again. Everyone I've talked to that's seen it enjoyed it. It's definitely like an easy movie just to watch. And the performance, that's what I'm talking about. When it comes to like charismatic performances, Indy, what's her name? Like, that's what I'm talking about. She has it. Trap still looking good, Johnny Boy from XLRX. Can you give me an impression of Cool Duder as Scarface? Keep up the great work. You talking about these traps? I used to not have a neck. Now let me look at a picture of me without a shirt on to remember the glory days. I want to look at myself and my glorious muscles. Where are they? Oh, look at this douchebag. Look at this. Look at that douchebag right there. Look at that. Look at those traps. Look at that bicep, man. Anyway, those were the good days. What was the question again? Oh, yes. Do an impression of Cool Duder as Scarface? I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. Fly, pelican, fly. Well, Cool Duder kind of talks like he does something like this. Hi, guys. Welcome to my DVD update from July 7th, 1995. Fly, pelican, fly. Hey, man, her womb's so... I can't even do it. I'm sorry. I think that's sufficient. So thank you for the question. You get a party popper. Hey, Ma. All right. You want the yayo? All right. Jason Nelson, 5251, says, what do you think of video games going digital only? That's a great question. I don't like it because when you start making physical media go digital only, the next step is movies. And I get where Sony's coming from. But then again, I don't. Because if you can't own the video game, you have no option to resell it. Now, if you want to just have digital video games and that's what you like, I get it. Who wants to get off their ass and pop in a physical copy, even though the game's already downloaded on your hard drive, but I still have to pop in this physical copy? Whatever. But at least when you're done with the game, you can sell it, so you get something back out of it. I don't know. I don't like it. But hey, if sales drop, then Sony will learn their lesson. But then again, you're talking to a studio who made movies like Morbius. So what do they know? Parzival says, I just got your membership. Thanks, man. Well, Parzival, you get a party popper. Open up. Okay. Obsession is coming out on physical media Tuesday. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd probably pick it up at some point. Did I already get upset? Did I already have it? Did I talk about it? Did I already have that? Was that sent to me? I swear I had that at some... Okay, maybe I didn't. It's been a long week. The next one comes from Jason Nelson, 5251 says, what do you think? Oh, we answered that already. Daniel G, 51905 says, John, I love you muchacho. I miss Walmart at 2 a.m. as well. Where where is Crazy Jason? And please give your thoughts on Nightmare Fuel live action Moana bombing hard. We talked about that a little bit ago. It deserves to bomb hard. No, that's a movie that felt so unnecessary. If you want to talk about the definition of a blatant cash grab, it's Moana. Crazy Jason, I actually texted him the other day, and he's hard to reciprocate with. He doesn't always reply. He's become a recluse. And we have these very short little text conversations. And I think he's doing well. We talked about House of the Dragon for a few messages back and forth. So that's where he's at, man. That's as much as I know. I miss him, though. I do. He was a good friend, and I hope he's doing well. I've tried to reach out multiple times throughout the years. They don't call him Crazy Jason for nothing. Uranium Cranium says you gotta love Morbin time. Well, yeah, of course, man. I don't like watching Jared Leto in a terrible movie, but then again, that's all he does now. Yeah, I miss Walmart's at 2 a.m. as well, man. But then again, I'm at a point in my life where I try to get inside before it gets dark out. Like when I'm out, like I'm going to be honest with you guys, the older I get, like when I drive around at night, it's just like the crazies come out. There's people just driving around all fast, revving their engines, just loud noises, screaming. It's just like, I need to be inside of my house because here's the thing. If you're inside your house by 9 o'clock, nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens. I have nowhere to be. Unless it's the occasional Saturday night and I make a Taco Bell run. That's it. That's it. I don't leave my house for anything. But with all of that said, I do miss Walmart's being open all night. It just felt like you had more freedom. It's like, hey, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, guess what? I need some AA batteries and a frozen pizza. Oh, okay. Let's just go to Walmart. I can't do that. Like, if I need something right now, I cannot get it. I have to wait till tomorrow to buy these items. Like, if I want to go buy a 75-inch flat screen TV right now, I don't have any options to do that. And that's an emergency if you really think about it. All right, let's go to the next one here. Oh, by the way, guys, last week I had a crazy eye infection that was gnarly. I had to take antibiotics for it. Where was I going with that? I don't remember. I don't remember where I was. I don't remember why I even said that. Miss your guys' flick trips together. Yeah, hey, listen, I'm glad that they at least exist on YouTube. Do you have a favorite Michael Douglas movie? Maybe Wall Street or Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone was, oh God, man. When I was a little kid, Basic Instinct, oh gosh. Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct, man. When I was a kid, I remember like trying to freeze frame this thing on VHS and having tracking lines. Oh, like, look at Sharon Stone right there in Basic Instinct. Michael Douglas was in the movie too, but who cares? Yeah, I don't know. Probably Wall Street. I'm trying to think of another like great Michael Douglas movie, and I just can't. Oh God, Falling Down. Thank you. Yes, Falling Down would be my favorite Michael Douglas movie. I think that is by far the best performance he's ever given. Wash your hands before touching your eyes. Let me tell you something about me, young man. I'm such a germaphobe. I have not touched my eyeballs with my hands in probably about 5 years. I literally have the best eye hygiene you could ever imagine. I wash my eyes with baby shampoo, then I have special cleansing wipes for both of my eyes, and then every time my eye itches, I use a special cotton pad to itch my eyes. The reason I got an eye infection was because I went into a crawl space that was so disgusting and moldy, And I did wear goggles, but I think something somehow got into my eye just by removing my goggles, or maybe some sweat or something got into, like, poured down into my eyes. I think that's what happened. I don't touch my eyes. I never do. Yeah, Falling Down was great, man. Like that scene where he goes into the restaurant and he's like, why doesn't it look like the picture? Now I want a juicy, plump hamburger. And what is this flat, dried out, like, I love that scene. It's just a guy who's just has nothing left to lose, who's unhinged. Falling Down is a phenomenal movie. Directed by the guy who also directed Batman and Robin. Isn't that crazy? Murph M says Black Rain is good. A good Michael Douglas movie. Yeah, I always kind of liked Black Rain a little bit. I thought it was kind of cool. I liked where they go to, like, is Japan, right? It takes place in Japan? Or is it Tokyo? I think it's Japan, right? I always like that. Him and his, like, one team up. He teams up with that is it Japan or Tokyo? He teams up with, like, the Japanese detective once he gets there, and there's, like, a gang of dudes on crotch rockets. I always liked Black Rain. I used to watch that often back in the 90s. It used to play on, like, Showtime all the time. It was good stuff. I feel like John wants to do a Falling Down himself. Listen, you said that, not me. But maybe one day. Okay. The next one comes from... And Daniel, thank you for the question earlier. I'm going to try to talk a little quicker on these super chats here. But thanks so much for the question, man. It does mean a lot. Martha Wayne's Magic Wand back again says... can you do an impression of Christopher Walken as John Goodman in The Big Lebowski? An impression of Christopher Walken as John Goodman in The Big Lebowski. Over the line. 9-year-olds, dude. 9-year-olds. I don't know. That's all I got. But I could see him being in that movie as well. Anyway. Mark it down. Rules are rules. I don't know, man. That's all I got. So thanks for the question. Here's a party popper for you. That's my Christopher Walken impression. All right. Washington Sky Watch CMH 1421. Is that a long enough name? I don't think so. Here it goes, though. Joined the show when you were talking about Blockbuster. I miss the days when my sister worked at Hollywood Video and I could get anything for free. Yeah, Hollywood Video, I'll be honest, when I moved to Indiana as in middle school, I probably went to Hollywood Video more often than Blockbuster. It was just more convenient. And Hollywood Video was a cool video rental place too. It definitely had a cool theme. It had its own little dedicated section to rent video games. It was a cool place. Like, if you couldn't go to Blockbuster, Hollywood Video was a great video rental store. So I went there often. You know what I remember most about Hollywood Video, or maybe it was just my Hollywood Video? When they would take down the movie posters, they put them in this big, like, trash can bin, and they'd roll them up, and you could, like, take them for free. And I remember every time I went in there, that was the first thing I looked at, was all the rolled up movie posters they took down. I got some cool shit, man. Okay. But thank you for the question, and you get a party popper too, man. All right, the next one comes from A Glitch in the Code. How's it going, buddy? Started watching you when I was 12. I'm 18 now. I like to think I guided you into adulthood, but let's keep going. Thank you for helping me get into physical media. If Nightcrawler got a sequel, what's your idea for it? I'm just glad Nightcrawler got a 4K physical media release, man. So that's awesome. That was the one thing I've been waiting on for like 5 years. Okay, so I don't know what my exact idea for like um a Nightcrawler sequel would be off the top of my head, but the way that the movie ended, clearly Lewis Bloom has a couple teams in a van and he's expanding his business. And I think it would be cool if he went up against like someone who was just as like competitive as he is. And I really think they could also introduce a couple new like charismatic characters that he hires as employees. And maybe there's a couple twists and turns on some of the like one of the major stories they go on or something. I think there would be like an interesting dynamic between that. There's more characters you could introduce in the sequel, but I would like to see kind of him go up against someone who's an equal antagonist, if you will. Um, who would that be? I'm not quite sure. But I think it would be interesting. I almost feel like you could do like a limited series on Nightcrawler. I really think you could like get 6 episodes out of that. Especially with today's like news content and TikTok and social media and the way that we get media coverage of like news events. I think there's so much more you could expand on with that. There's something just so interesting. I think like Lewis Bloom making a TikTok video would almost be like, I think that would be interesting in itself. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe you could do something like that. Uranium Cranium says, what do you think of the plans to remake Basic Instinct? Apparently Sharon Stone objects to the remake. I don't think it's necessary, but who would play like the new Sharon Stone, like Sydney Sweeney or something? I don't know if I could buy that. Murph MM says Black Rain is good. Michael Douglas. Oh, we already answered that. Could Dolph Lundgren had played the Terminator if Arnold hadn't been available? From Cleveland Neanderthal. No, man, I don't think. Nah, Dolph Lundgren has like the heavy accent and the muscle mass, but there's something about Arnold's charisma that just cannot be matched. So no, I don't. It would have been the made for sci-fi channel version of the Terminator. Okay, and if you guys are YouTube members, feel free to chime in. I'm looking at the normal chat as much as I can, so share your thoughts, your opinions. I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay, let's keep going here. And thanks for the question, A Glitch in the Matrix. Thank you for watching for the past forever, and don't you leave me. Don't you ever leave me. Okay, the next one comes from Sylvester Simon. How's it going, Sylvester? Hey, John. What do you expect from Brand New Day? Well, they have shown a lot of footage from that movie and with the new trailers and clips coming out. And I'm looking forward to it. And if any superhero comic book movie is going to be successful, it's going to be Batman or it's going to be Spider-Man. Those are the two masked vigilantes who can guarantee $1 billion at the box office, because I just think they're the most fascinating, charismatic, enjoyable superheroes to watch on the screen. I really do. I stand by that. I think there's something just relatable to both those characters. And psychologically, when you step back and think about it, it's the truth. Like, you have this young teenage kid who's kind of coming to terms with these abilities. Then you have this middle-aged guy who lost his parents, who's a vigilante of justice and has $1 billion. But at the core of who both those characters are, they're human characters. They're relatable. Like, you can find relatability in both those characters somewhere, somehow. And I think that's why they do so well at the box office. But beyond all of that, I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man flick, Brand New Day. It looks like it could potentially be the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And the thing that gets me so excited about it, and I think most people might agree, and if you do, please let me know. And tell me, are you guys looking forward to the new Spider-Man movie? Let me know why or why not in the comments right now. I'll read some of your takes on it. But I'm just so glad Tony Stark's dead. Like, listen, hear me out for a second. When Tom Holland Spider-Man had all the Stark tech and all the just unlimited technology. I'm like, this isn't Spider-Man. That's not the character. That takes away from it. That's too much. That's too much crap going on. Spider-Man in simplistic form is always better. It makes him more vulnerable. It makes the stakes higher. Like, he's not going to die when he's wearing an Iron Man, Spider-Man suit. It's not going to happen. But wearing some spandex, okay, things can happen this time around. So I'm looking forward to it for those reasons. But they are showing a lot in the trailers, like the Hulk fight and some of the CGI. I had this conversation with a buddy of mine on YouTube. You might know him. His name's 3C Films. But we were talking the other day, and like we sort of both agreed, like the CGI in this movie, man, just like some of the background effects, it just looks somewhat unfinished. Like it kind of just looks slapped in there. When you freeze frame any of it, it kind of looks bad. Now I'm hoping that these trailers were from like a preliminary cut of the film and they're not quite polished yet. Maybe that could be the scenario, right? But other than that, I think it looks like a good time. I'm definitely going to be there on day one. I already bought my tickets. Unless I get some early press screening of the movie, I'll be there on opening night to check it out, and I can't wait. So those are my thoughts on the new Spider-Man movie. Thor will probably die in Doomsday, I'm guessing. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Avengers movies and Thor. Anyone can die. Anyone can come back. There's 17 different multiverses or 70,000 multiverses of the same character. If Thor dies in this movie, another version of Thor will come back if they need him for the movie or the next story. And that's the thing. It's just like we've went too far. Just there's no consequences anymore. If he dies, he dies. I think we've had enough Thor movies, I suppose. Of course, I'm excited. Too many reasons why. Excited for the brand new Spider-Man, but I can't lie. The CGI has me worried. Hopefully, it's still being worked out. Yeah, and I'm hoping it is. My only complaint with the new Spider-Man movie is like, and they do it for everything. Let's find the Spider-Man movie here for a second. Let's find the new trailer. Give it a quick watch as I take a sip of this delicious bourbon. Okay. Let's look at some of this here.
Really scary. You sure you want to do this, Scorpion?
You think I'm Scorpion?
You think I'm Scorpion? It looks so desaturated. Like, my thing is the color grading. It just looks kind of flat. Like, look at every scene outside right now. Like, why does everything look like it's a rainy day? And maybe it was. I think they shot most of this movie in glass glow. So it is pretty gloomy there. So, I mean, that might be the reason why. But, like, oh, it's this scene right here. This is the scene. This is the scene. Look at that. Look at that junk. This, look, if I went into ChatGPT right now, or Grok, and I said, hey, render me some guys tied up in Spider-Man web and give me a 3-second clip, this is what it would crap out literally in 4 minutes. Like, look at this. And not only that, it's like literally blurry. What? I'm watching it in 1080p. Like, that looks like it's 720p, man. Am I missing something here? This looks really bad. Look how bad that looks. Anyway. But it's got some cool shots. It's got some good money-making shots. I do think it was 720p. I'm sorry. But anyway, the CGI didn't look good in that scene. He's fighting ninjas. Like, there's some cool stuff here. It looks like there's actually some good character moments. He's teaming up with Punisher. There's the Hulk fight right there. Let's look at the Hulk here. I like that the Hulk looks more jacked. Like the Hulk is back on TRT, man. I like that. He's all pumped up on Trembolone. Basically all jacked up on horse tranquilizers again, looking more pumped. He's got a little more creatine in his body. His muscles look more full. It doesn't look like Mark Ruffalo anymore. That's what I like about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It just looks so desaturated, I guess. That's really my only takeaway from it. Chris is a good guy. Well, you guys don't know him on a personal level. He's not. He's really not. He's pure evil. No, he's a nice guy. He's one of the more down to earth like YouTubers I've talked to, and since meeting him probably like 4 years ago, we've always kind of like been in touch. Okay, Uranium Cranium says, John, what are you drinking? Jack Daniels or Maker's 46? I'm actually drinking a Blanton's bourbon with a little Coke Zero in there. I like to keep it trashy like that. Is Spidey bulletproof or not? I'm gonna say if he can take a punch from the Hulk, he's somewhat bulletproof. I'm gonna put it like that. Gray Hulk, more like concrete dust Hulk. Well, that's not Gray Hulk. He's green. I think originally they were going to make a Gray Hulk or something like that, but he's green. He's definitely desaturated. He looks like a pickle that you'd leave out on a hot summer day, and it gets really dehydrated. Merv says, I'm not a fan of the Spider-Man films. I like a lot of the Spider-Man movies. I didn't like... my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man No Way Home by far, but that movie gets really good the last like hour. Once all three Spider-Men show up, that's where the movie gets phenomenal. Like the first hour of that movie, I could just skip. Just skip the first hour. Like, I don't need it. Don't want it. Gives me nothing. Okay, the next one comes from... Gosh, I'm so far behind in your questions. Let me go quicker here. Oh my God, how far back was I? Okay, so Sylvester, that's my answer to the Spider-Man question. Maddie Movies says, hey John, Matt here. What's your favorite Spider-Man? Or I'm sorry, what's your favorite movie with Liam Neeson in it? Mine is The Gray because just love the cinematography and the vibe of it, and just came out on 4K. Yeah, I always liked The Gray. It's sort of a nice little underrated movie. It came out in January, and it was like, oh wow, January movies can be okay. I thought it was cool. I like the scene where he puts glass shards on his fist, and you don't actually see the conclusion of it. Liam Neeson movies. I don't know. Batman Begins as Ra's al Ghul. I thought that was good. You never had what it takes to serve true justice. Dark Man. There's another one, man. Next to Kin. Did you ever watch the movie Next to Kin? It's okay. Yeah, those are a couple of my favorite Liam Neeson movies. I never liked the you have my daughter and I will find you and kill you. I was never a big fan of those movies. I know, call me crazy. I couldn't get into them that much. The first one was okay, but the sequels just felt like sequel slop. But anyway, man, thank you so much for the question. And you get a party popper. The next one comes from the movie guy 007, who says, in Fast 5, when Diesel jumps out of the window and looks behind him mid-flight at Dwayne Johnson, is peak Fast and Furious. In Fast 5, when Diesel jumps out of the window and look... I don't remember that scene specifically. I just remember The Rock running around with a medium shirt on in South America, just profusely sweating, looking so juicy. Just like juicy as shit with baby oil pouring out of every crevice of his body thinking, man, that is a man. That is a man. And with all that said, would you guys like to watch my, and someone said my eyes really pop in this Batman mask. Thank you. Would you guys like to watch my Fast and Furious intro that I made on YouTube 15 years ago? I know I would. Where's this junk at? Fast Furious 5 flick pick. Okay, now this also, I think this has, I made this in front of a green screen in my parents' basement with the shittiest camera ever made. I want you to understand that, okay? Let's, there we go. Look at that guy.
Camera along with me, so I'm going to show you what happened last night real quick. Because the Buster brought me home. This guy's showing up, I gotta go.
That's my car phone.
I know my diesel impression is terrible, just stick with me.
I look like Jesse from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Toretto, you like my new ride? I just got it from a guy who was dressed like a sex skimp and he had emphysema. Doesn't matter if you brought a 5-second car or a 10-minute car. I'm gonna win. That doesn't make any sense.
God, this is getting intense, man. Holy shit, man. Okay. That is an intro. That is cinema. Whew. Oh, gosh. Listen. Hey, listen. That deserves... Give this video... Does that deserve a like? I mean, come on. That deserves a like. I mean, come on. Give me that. That was quality. That was gold. I forgot how good that was. That was better than any Fast and Furious sequel after Fast and Furious 5. Can we all agree on that? That's all I'm saying. Because the Buster brought me home. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Just like that shit. I need it. Just give me that. I just gave you pure entertainment. That's all I ask. All right. I have more Fast and Furious intros. Anytime a new Fast and Furious movie came out, I would play with toy cars. If you want to watch another one, let me know in the comments. I got another one. We can watch it together. All right, let's go to the next one here. So thank you for the question, Movie Guy. And Movie Guy's back again with another question. Sons of Anarchy or Yellowstone? I never got into either. I think I watched an episode of both of those and I could not get in. Like Sons of Anarchy, I could probably get into, but I just never had the time to dedicate to it. I watched the first episode or maybe first 2 episodes of Yellowstone. And I was like, I'm a fan of Kevin Costner. I really am. Huge fan. I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves more than you could ever imagine. And then after I watched that first episode, I was like, I don't care if these people will have their land or not, or like, I don't care. And then like that first episode, they're like, we're going to do something about this. And they have this huge convoy of vehicles and a helicopter and like machine guns. And then they go to like this place and the guy shoots back at him once and everyone runs away. I'm like, what? What is, okay. That was a lot of build up and tough talk for nothing. My land. I gotta have my land. I don't give a shit about your land. I hope they tear it down and build a Walmart on it. Because guess what? That's more convenient. So anyway, those are my thoughts. John, we saw Jaws in the swimming pool. Can we take anything? We can take anything. Jaws in my pool was one of the best videos I ever made and one of the most successful videos I ever made. Why did millions of people watch that? I don't know. Incredible work. Well, thank you, Bucketeer. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for the admiration. Thank you so much. The movie guy 007 says pure cinema. Thank you, man. Thank you, movie guy. That's you get a party popper. You know what? I had a whole bucket of party poppers tonight, and I was like, I'm not gonna go through these. No one's gonna watch me at 12 o'clock. We're empty. I got more though. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I got more party poppers. I got more where those come from. Listen, every time I go to Walmart, I take every single bag of party poppers that they have. That way, if some little kid wants to celebrate their birthday party with party poppers, they're going to be sorely disappointed when they go into Walmart to buy them. Because some guy in his 30s went in there and bought every single one of them so he could wear a Batman mask and talk about movies on the internet. Okay? And I think that is a better use of party poppers than little Billy's birthday party. Sorry, little Billy. But anyway, man, thank you for that. Thank you. You get a party popper for that. Thank you. All right. The next one, Bucketeer says, "Hey John, your eyes really pop in that man." He said my eyes are gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Ray Carpio Videos, how's it going, Ray? Who says, "Hey John, who had the best Batman chin? Shout out Paul. Hey Paul, how are you?" The best Batman chin, man. Ben Affleck had a pretty good Batman chin. Can we all agree on such things? Let's look at that chin, man. Let's see. I mean, this is. I mean, look at that! Look at that monstrosity right there, man. You zoom into it close enough, it looks like a butthole. I love it. But I think Affleck had a pretty good Batman chin. Yeah? Anybody else agree? I mean, not the best movie. Clearly standing in front of a green screen, but pretty good Batman chin. I'd go with that. No party poppers, then I'm out. That's the only reason I'm here. Well, dude, I got another bucket full of party poppers. Don't you ever leave me. Glorious chin. It is a glorious chin. What do you think about my chin as Batman? Justice. Justice. All right. Where's the pizza? You would never give anchovies to an ordinary citizen. All right. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Xavier the One. John, thank you for helping me with depression. Well, you know, I do my best. And I will say, hey, thank you guys for watching, because believe it or not, over the years, that has probably helped me with my depression. There's been many of YouTube videos, and I can't specify which ones, when or where, though I do remember that there were videos I made and uploaded to YouTube where, man, like something bad happened right before that video, and I was not in a good place. And rather than just shut down and lay in the fetal position, I was like, you know what? If I make a video, at least I can like compartmentalize it a little bit. So yeah, and the fact that people watch and like give you cool comments and they're like, hey, I like your stuff. You know, you're stupid, but I like you. That's cool. That really does help. It really does. So, you know, thank you. And, you're welcome. There you go. That's the best way I can put it, you know? So thanks, man. And I hope you're doing good, and I hope you're not depressed anymore. And whenever you're feeling depressed, just whip out a party popper. And this one's just for you, man. Put a smile on that face. All right, let's keep going here. The movie guy 007 back again says, I like the new Batman film critic. Keep it up. Yeah, I think I'll just wear this for every video. Like this should just be what I do on YouTube. I'll call it Vigilante Reviews. I'll instantly be, I'll get 1 million followers on TikTok instantly. If every video I just talk about movies in a Batman mask. And I never acknowledge that I'm wearing it. That's it. That's how you, boom, 1 million views. That's how you do it. Okay, let's keep going here. It's Saturday night. A lot of us would be here. Laugh aloud. It's Saturday night. A lot of us would be here. Yeah, you know, the funny thing is, before I went live tonight, I was like, it's midnight. It's Saturday. Clearly people are busy. And oddly enough, we're doing better tonight than we usually do on like a weeknight. So maybe we should just do these late at night on Saturdays. I think I'm getting a whole new audience that never gets to watch typically. So that's nice. All right, let's keep going. The next one comes from Wade's Movie World 6592 says, John, did you hear Terminator 2 Judgment Day is going to be re-released in theaters in late August, early September? I think I did hear something about that, and that is great. That is awesome. I've seen Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which I think is quintessentially the best action movie ever made. And if you disagree with that, I can definitely debate you anytime, any place. But that's awesome. I own it on 4K. The 4K does not look that great. I think the Blu-ray looks better than the 4K of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. But man, that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Part of me does want to go. Like, here's the thing about Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I don't know if I'd go back to the theater to watch it, but hear me out for a second. If they re-release that at like my drive-in theater, I would go to the drive-in theater to watch it. I genuinely would. That is just such a perfect summertime movie. That is what a summertime action movie should be. Professor Marmalade says, how do I become a home inspector? Just Google it, man. You got to take a whole bunch of pre-licensing courses, like 120 hours. Then you do some field training. Then you take a state exam of 200 questions. It takes 4 hours. And then you will technically be licensed. But man, it's a never ending kind of occupation where I still learn something new every day. Like, you still come across stuff you've never seen anywhere before. And you're like, huh, that's interesting. Why did they do it like this? Oh, that looks death defying and dangerous. Okay. But that's typically how you do it. John, if you do buy a pickup truck and live in Northeast Indiana, will you get a Studebaker pickup? No. I was thinking like a Toyota Tacoma, or maybe like a Ford Maverick or something, like a mid-sized pickup truck. My manhood is not in question, so I don't need like a big pickup truck. I just need something to put some stuff in the back of, you know? All right, the next question comes from... But anyway, promise me you're not going to kill anyone. Thanks for the question, man. Xavier the One says, top 5 Nickelodeon cartoons. Oh, God. Doug. Hey Arnold. Rugrats had a good run. Rugrats was pretty good when I was younger. I liked Rugrats. I never loved Rocko's Modern Life. I get a lot of people did. I liked his neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Bighead. Oh, Rocco. I liked them. Ren and Stimpy, man. Ren and Stimpy was the shit back in the early 90s. Let's look this up. Best Nickelodeon cartoons. I guess SpongeBob came out like after I was already like a teenager. So I was not like, I like SpongeBob, but it just wasn't around when I was a kid in the 90s. Yeah, they got like Rugrats, they got Hey Arnold, they got Ren and Stimpy, they got Doug on there. Those are pretty much like the quintessentials. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. What was your guys' favorite Nickelodeon? I remember Nickelodeon would have like this special hour on like Fridays or something where they would play like all that. They'd play a couple other like sitcoms back in the 90s. What was that called? Like they had that one thing called TGIF. TGI, like shows on ABC. I don't know. Dude, I remember like watching all the sitcoms when I was a kid. Like on ABC, they'd have something called TGIF back in the 90s. And they'd play like shows like Sabrina, Dinosaurs, Boy Meets World, Full House. They had some other shit that they would play though. Family Matters. What else did they have? Let's see. I miss the 90s, man. That was the peak time period for sitcoms. They gave you moral values. I loved it. Okay, Parzival 4888 has become a member. Yay! Thanks, Parzival. You get a party popper. Cleveland Neanderthal says, "Is the city of Detroit as bad as everyone says?" I've been to Detroit just a couple times. I never like explored the city. Detroit's kind of a city you drive through and you don't stop. You know what I mean? So I've never really stopped, but it looks like you would expect it to. I've never really explored Detroit. I know it's a dying city, though. It's not really a place I'd want to go to. The movie guy 007 says, "The three seashells takes time." Yeah, if you've seen Demolition Man, the three seashells in the bathroom, there's some things you just never want to know the answer to, and you just have to go with the flow. I prefer a wet wipe, so... thanks for the questions, though. The next one comes from Billy M6486 says, "Do people recognize you in public at job?" Thank God, no one's ever recognized me at my normal job. Because if this guy showed up, I don't... like, what would you do with that? But, I have been recognized many of times in public. Many of times. I've been recognized at the urinal. I've been recognized at restaurants, movie theaters, Best Buy, restaurants. I've been recognized quite often. It's kind of weird. It's like, "Oh, I watch your YouTube videos." And I'm like, it's so weird to me. It's like, I forget that people actually watch this. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I thought I was just talking to a camera by myself all these years. But yeah, it's always cool. It's always flattering, and it's really cool to meet viewers and, learn a little. And like a lot of my viewers I've met are so cool and normal. Like I met a viewer who was a police officer. I met viewers one guy a couple years ago, I was at Fantastic Fest, and he drove like 2 hours out of his way because he knew I was at Fantastic Fest to like meet me. Now, I don't know if he was doing something else. Maybe he was there for another reason. I'm not sure. But he said he drove 2 hours to meet me. And like we talked for a handful of minutes. And I always feel so bad because like I can only hang out so long and I feel so bad about it. But things like that are just, it's so flattering and surreal to me because I'm just a dude. Like I'm just a guy who wakes up, eats a frozen burrito, drinks an iced coffee, and like, that's who I am. And I'm a guy who wears a Batman mask and also Vigilante of the Night. Don't you ever forget it. Justice. But yeah, it's always cool, man. Since kind of taking a hiatus away from YouTube and doing it part-time, it doesn't happen as often as it used to, but it still does occasionally happen, which is always cool. All right. Martha Wayne's Magic Wand says, can you explain how Jamie Foxx magically became a badass in Collateral? Also, Tom Cruise is a highly skilled hitman. How did Tom Cruise lose? That is a great question, and I've always asked myself the same question. But I will say this. Tom Cruise, when he was shooting, was on a moving train. He was already injured. The lights did go out. And I think over the course of events and with a character arc, which is what a good character should have in a film, Jamie Foxx became a little tougher, a little more heroic. And I like to think that Vincent, played by Tom Cruise, throughout Collateral, actually inspired Jamie Foxx to be more of a badass. So in a way, Tom Cruise's character inspired his own demise by inspiring Jamie Foxx to not be such a pussy. And part of that plays a hand as well. Because also throughout that night, those course of events, Jamie Foxx has to go into that nightclub. You know, he has to pretend to be somebody else. There's a lot of traumatic things that he goes through that night that kind of toughen him up for that last showdown. Now, with all that said, the man has never shot a gun before, and Tom Cruise's character was a trained hitman. So, you know, for the sake of the movie, we'll just accept it. There's no taco trucks where you live, John? There's probably a few taco trucks. I don't eat food that comes out of a truck. That's the thing you need to know about me. If it was made in the back of a van, I'm not a big fan of it because I safely assume I'm most likely going to get food poisoning from it. If the place that you're buying your food can drive away after they serve it to you, I don't know if you can trust it. Okay. All right. Yeah, Step by Step was good. I love Step by Step. The Code Man. I liked that character. I also thought Suzanne Summers was kind of hot. Oh, Pete and Pete. I used to love Pete and Pete, man. That was awesome. Oh, the animated X-Men. Yeah, I loved animated X-Men. I wasn't a big fan of the animated Superman, but I was a huge fan of the animated Batman series by far. That was easily my favorite animated series. But anyway, here's a party popper, and it's probably a better shot than Jamie Foxx ever had in Collateral. All right. The next one comes from Lance Stanley, 5184. How's it going, Lance? Longtime viewer. Thanks for being passionate and honest with your content. What's the superior film? The Raid, The Furious, or John Wick? I have not watched The Furious. I've seen The Raid once or twice. And I've seen John Wick a couple times. So I would say rewatchability wise, John Wick. I liked The Raid quite a bit. I like John Wick, but I've never been like the diehard John Wick fan. Like, I think there's better Keanu Reeves movies. Like, I think Speed is better than any of the John Wick movies. I think The Matrix is better than any of the John Wick movies. You know, that's just my take on it. And like the John Wick, like I like John Wick, John Wick 3 I like. The second one I did not like that much. But anyway, man, I have not seen The Furious. I do want to watch it at some point. Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was glorious, man. I loved that. Carlton, I loved me some Carlton. That speaking of, and by the way, thanks for the question, man. You get a party popper, and Thanks for the compliments on there. I thanks for being passionate and honest in your content. That means a lot to me. I do. Thank you so much for that. That's a genuine response from a guy in a shitty Batman mask. So I hope that means something to you, because that meant something to me. But that episode in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will Smith's dad like doesn't want anything to do with him, and Will Smith gets all mad and he's like, "Why doesn't he want me?" And his Uncle Phil, man, just gives him that hug. Oh, that gave me the feels, man. Good stuff. I miss sitcoms. Man, they gave us everything we needed in 22 minutes. The movie guy, 007 back again. All right, here it goes, man. Hey, John. The good old days will always be there. The last scene in Cobra Kai with Johnny and Daniel, when Daniel says, "We'll always have the memories," hits me every time I rewatch the series. Yeah, man, there's something about nostalgic moments like that, isn't there? Just that weird closure where you just know the best glory days are behind them. It's kind of depressing when you think about it. I get it, though. You know, I revisit my older videos often, and I'm like... But also, you know, it's one of those things like, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it exists. But, you know, tomorrow is always more exciting than yesterday, in my opinion. Sometimes, unless you have to wake up at 5 o'clock to go to work, which that just sucks ass. But outside of that, you know, it's just like, as long as you take the experiences that you've been through and like make them matter and use them as fuel or maybe fire for the future, then they will always be there. And when you close your eyes at night and you put your head on your pillow, they will be there. So let's not get too philosophical and keep talking about movies. The next one comes from, and by the way, thanks for the question, man. Jeff Fisher, how's it going? Jeff Fisher, 8395, who says, "Hey John, love the videos. Been watching for 12 years. Can you please do a live high as fuck on your gummies? They were always so funny. You're the best." Well, hypothetically, I've never taken drugs. But with all of that said, I will take a drink of this delicious bourbon here. I call that the truth juice. But there have been some live shows, hypothetically, where maybe that question came to fruition. If you go back and search high and low. All right. But thanks for the question, man. Thank you so much. It was all medically prescribed, I tell you. All right. The next one comes from the movie guy 007, who says pure cinema. Yes, thank you so much, movie guy. I think that relates to my shitty Fast and Furious video. By the way, I'm about 22 minutes behind on your super chat question, so I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. And also, if you guys are in the normal chat and you have a question, or you guys are a YouTube member, feel free to chime in at any time. The movie guy says, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Rocket Power. I see a lot of these are like early 2000 shows I wasn't into. King of the Hill I loved. Boy Meets World, that 70s show. Wild Thornberries. See, some of these are getting to like the 2000s. And by that time, I wasn't really watching a lot of cartoons. But yeah, King of the Hill was phenomenal. And listen, I will age myself like The Simpsons. When people used to actually watch The Simpsons back in the 90s, and it was like iconic and it was everywhere in pop culture, and Bart Simpson was like the coolest character if you were like a 7-year-old kid. The Simpsons were the shit, man. And some of those early seasons of The Simpsons were phenomenal. And now it's like they still make them, but I cannot genuinely tell you the last time I watched an episode of The Simpsons. I don't even know where you watch episodes of The Simpsons, and I don't know when they air. And I've never met anyone in the last decade who currently watches episodes of The Simpsons. And it's a weird thing. But they're still being made. And I don't know anyone who watches them. Do you watch The Simpsons? Like, do you actively watch the new seasons? Please let me know down below. Did you see The Matrix in theaters back in 1999? How was it? I did not watch The Matrix back in 19. I was 12 years old in 1999, and I did not see The Matrix in theaters. We rented it on VHS, and that was the first time I saw it. And I thought it was really awesome, but I did not see that movie in theaters. Nope. But I do specifically remember when The Matrix came out. That was around the time of the Columbine shootings in '99, and it just like I remember that specifically. I remember that media coverage of it, and it being this really what's the term I'm looking for? This really debatable movie, this real questionable movie that it felt like it got a lot of bad press at the time. It seemed. All right. The next one comes from Jeff Fisher back again says, "Can you do your videos as this time can you do your videos at this time so I can watch them?" I don't know if I can do all my live streams at 2:00 in the morning. I don't know if that'd be the most convenient time. But tonight I had the time, I had the energy, and I kind of missed you guys a little bit. So I figured we could hang out tonight at 2:00 in the morning. And the viewership is like up. It's freaking weird, man. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I got more viewers now than I do at 8:00 on a Sunday. So maybe we can do more late night live shows. But I'm here now, man. So, and we've been talking for, how long have we been talking here? A long time? 2 hours? I got time. Don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. All right. The next one comes from the movie guy 007 back again, says TMNT 1991 sequel or the 2007 sequel. That's not even a debate, man. Secret of the Ooze all day. I will defend that movie. Now, is it a little too PG? Did too many stupid, overprotective, overbearing parents complain that the Ninja Turtles shouldn't use their weapons and the movie's too violent, so they don't even use their weapons in TMNT Secret of the Ooze? Yeah. But also you have Kino, the little Asian delivery pizza guy. I like him. You have the shitty characters Tokar and Razor. Mama, you made me babies. Babies. And then you get Super Shredder at the end of the movie. And also, don't forget, you got Vanilla Ice, baby. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. That shit still gets me pumped up to this day. So I like Ninja Turtles too. I think that's a good time. And when I have kids, like that's the kind of movies I'm going to show them. Like, here's Secret of the Ooze. This is the kind of movies little kids should like. Watch this. So anyway, yeah, by far better, way better than the 2007 movie. I don't care what anyone says. All right. The next one comes from I think Secret of the Ooze is better. So there you go. Clark 1140 says, if you put Seth Green and Breckin Meyer in a blender, would you get Seth Meyers? What other actors, if you blended together, would create another known actor? There's a lot of actors that look very similar. I mean, we can talk about this real quick here. I'll show you here. Actors that look similar. Like Jamie Presley looks just like Margot Robbie. I don't know who these people are. I'm sorry. Matt Bomber looks like Henry Cavill. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, these two right here, Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley. There's a reason that they cast Keira Knightley as like Padme #2 stunt double in The Phantom Menace. They looked identical when they were younger. Let's see. Bill Skarsgård and Steve Buscemi. Amy Adams and Isla Fisher. Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, I do agree with that. Definitely almost interchangeable. I think Jessica Chastain's the better actress, though. Jennifer Connelly and Demi Moore. I agree with that. I have a conspiracy theory that in the movie The Substance, their original casting choice was going to be Jennifer Connelly because I think she actually looks more like Margaret. What's her name? Margaret. Whatever her name was in The Substance. Margaret Qualley, is that it? Anyway, I feel like that was the first casting choice for The Substance, and then she didn't want to do it, and they got Demi Moore, which was fine. But I'm just saying, Jennifer Connelly looks more like the younger actress. Then you got John. Who cares about John Mulaney? Yeah, Paul Rubens and Alan Cumming. Yeah, I literally look like the same person. They could have been brothers. Where's the Tom Hardy one? Gene Wilder and Jeremy Allen absolutely look the same. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Javier Bardem. Literally the same people. Javier Bardem's the better actor, but I like me some Jeffrey Dean Morgan. They didn't put what's his name, the Tom Hardy guy who was in the. I always forget his name. He looks like Tom Hardy though. He was in Prometheus. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, I hope that was a sufficient answer to your question there. The movie guy 007 says favorite conspiracy theory. I mean, where do I start with that one, man? Where do I lose subscribers with this one? I mean, the moon landing, JFK, 9/11. How did building number 7 fall? I don't know. They never really explained it. I think everything that you hear on the news to some degree is there was a conspiracy theory behind it. I mean, can you believe the Epstein files? I mean, come on. And then when it comes to telling us the truth, they're like, we're going to tell you. And guess what? They just never do. So we'll never know anything. We'll just be wandering around in the dark like NPC characters. As long as we can watch Netflix and order frozen pizzas, we'll be content as people and consumers. So those are a couple. Yeah, Upgrade. What's his name in Upgrade? Logan Marshall Green, that's his name. I'll never remember that. Logan Marshall Green? I hate middle names. I hate it. All right, let's go to the next one. T-Man's 4 says Die Hard 3 is an underrated summer movie. I like Die Hard 3 is okay. It's not the best. It doesn't have the most rewatchability. And I do think if you made Die Hard 3 today with the same kind of plot, I think it would almost be better today because technology in 2007, yeah, they have hackers. They're hacking into stuff. Originally, I think Die Hard 3 was supposed to be another movie. But I think the studio was like, no. We should make this into a Die Hard movie. Do you guys remember the Kevin Smith cameo also? But the other thing about Die Hard 3 was, I think if they made it today with like AI as sort of like a plot device, I think that would almost be more interesting as like somebody using AI for like all the wrong reasons. And I think that would almost be more topical and relatable. Like if you got really creative with it. Die Hard 3 was okay though. I like Justin Long in the movie as like a sidekick character. But my favorite Die Hard movie, I like the first one, but I loved no, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of Die Hard Live Free or Die Hard. I'm talking about Die Hard 4 with Justin Long. Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance with Samuel L. Jackson is my favorite Die Hard movie. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. Yes, Die Hard 3 is my favorite Die Hard movie with Samuel L. Jackson. His name is Zeus. I think it's phenomenal. And I do think it's underrated. And the thing is, it does take place in the summer in New York City, and everyone looks so sweaty as they're running around. I love it. So yes, I love Die Hard 3. I don't like the third act that much, though. I will say that. Gets a little messy in the third act. Vino El Bambino says, just saw V for Vendetta last night. Absolute cinema. Dude, is that the first time you've watched it? V for Vendetta is like probably one of the best, technically one of the best comic book movies ever made. I mean, and that's one of those comic book movies that when you step back and look at it, when you look at the political atmosphere of everything happening, especially if you live in the UK, everything I know about what's happening in the UK right now, doesn't V for Vendetta just really like hit oddly close to home? It's almost terrifying how unsettling and how realistic it's becoming. Just putting it out there. We're going to unleash a virus, a man-made virus. Oh, I feel like that happened somewhere in the past. But V for Vendetta, man, with Natalie Portman in the film. Oh, just a brilliant film. I remember skipping, me and my friend, we would just skip school whenever a good movie came out. And we skipped school on the Friday that V for Vendetta came out and went and watched it at like a 10 o'clock showing. It was great. Added to the blacklist. I never want to hear it again. All right, the next one comes from DK Nez 002. How's it going, DK? Here it goes, man. Hey, thoughts on horror films this year? I feel it's been a strong year so far. It has, you know, for me, I think like Backrooms, Obsession. What else did you guys like this year that was a horror film? You know, I think those are the two standouts for me so far. But yeah, I definitely like both of them. I really liked Backrooms. I liked the immersiveness. I liked the atmosphere. And I would like to see more movies with liminal spaces, because something about liminal spaces just like kind of excites me and terrifies me at the same time. So I definitely like to see a sequel to that. But Obsession, man, that was like the breakout hit of the year. A movie that was made for $700,000 and it had everything you wanted to see. Now, was it the scariest movie ever? No, but it was kind of creepy and unsettling. But the performances carried that movie. And that's what I've been saying forever. For the last 15 years on YouTube, I've been saying, if you just have a movie and you hire charismatic actors who can act their ass off and chew up the scenery, like the actress Indy did in that film, that's all it takes. That's what it takes. And they did it. And I'm like, perfection. There you go. So I'm looking forward to whatever he does next. He's directing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I'm a huge fan of Texas Chainsaw and Leatherface. So I think like if he's going to pick a horror franchise that gets me excited watching Leatherface run around with a chainsaw, that's the kind of shit I want to see. So that gets me excited. And I the fact that he's directing it, like I'm actually excited to see like a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I genuinely think this could be potentially good, because the last 5 movies that we got were complete dog shit. I liked Sin Help. Sin Help was okay. I thought it was a fine movie. I don't know if it's going to like live on to be a classic, but I thought it was fine. Rachel Adams was pretty good in the movie. I definitely recommend, like, if you want a good movie to watch on like a rainy night, I would say, like, if you haven't seen Sin Help, I think it's a decent movie to check out. Yeah, they definitely should expand on the like the scientists and the environment behind Backrooms in the next installment. But I do hope if they make another Backrooms movie, it still takes place in the 90s, because the first movie took place in the early 90s. So make the next one take place in like the mid 90s or something. Don't leave the 90s time period. Don't leave it. Stay there. It makes it immensely better. Okay, the next one comes from, but yeah, man, thank you for the question. And you get a party popper. This is for you. Don't get scared now. If you guys saw how much shit was behind my desk right now, you'd have an anxiety attack. I got to show you guys this. Look at all this junk. Like look how much, look at all this, look how much party popper goo is dangling on the back of this camera right now. All right. And thanks to all 209 of you watching my stupid face right now at currently it's 2:17 a.m. in the morning in Indiana right now. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Don't you ever leave me. I need you. Don't you ever leave me. Sleep is for the weak and the innocent. Xavier the One says, thoughts on Friday the 13th franchise, rank them. Listen, there's a handful of Friday the 13th films I like. I've never been a diehard fan of the franchise. I'm more of a Nightmare on Elm Street guy. A lot of the Friday the 13th movies kind of blend together to me. I don't remember which ones are which. Friday 13th films. And I can definitely tell you it's not Jason Goes to Hell. That was a piece of trash. Okay, so you got the first one. The first one I get that it's a classic, but I actually like when Jason actually like puts on the hockey mask, and that's when it becomes iconic to me. The final chapter. Which one has Corey Feldman? Little bald Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman, Friday 13th. Like, it's so I can't eat when I look at it. Little bald, look at this. Look at that grossness, man. Look at little bald Corey Feldman in Friday the 13th right there. Yeah, the final chapter. I always liked that one quite a bit. And I have a guilty pleasure love, and don't get mad at me. I have a guilty pleasure love for Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, the first half of that movie, to save money on the budget, they shot it on a shitty like ship. Like basically Jason's like just stalking people on a small little ship, and it's really underwhelming and kind of boring. But once they get to Manhattan, which was actually filmed in Toronto, I believe, to save more money, I like that. Like, he punches a guy's head off, it rolls into a trash can. I think that's great filmmaking. I always had like a guilty love for that. But this right here, like, look at his bald head right there, man. Ugh. Whoa, look at him. Look at that. Whoa. Freddy versus Jason is my favorite. Yeah, it's okay. You know, I don't know if they hired the best director or had the best like tone for the movie, because they shot it like a kung fu fight movie at times. But I liked it. You know, I saw it in theaters actually. So I've always liked it. I just never loved it. It had a cool soundtrack though. That's for sure. Jeff Fisher, 8395 says, John, can you send me a signed photo, please? I will hang it up and make people bow down to it before they come into my home. It would make my year. Man, I don't know, man. If you pay for shipping or something, I'll send you a signed autograph. How's that? Let me get a PO box. By the way, I'm gonna throw something out. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab it. Hang on. Okay, look, I want to show you guys my Galactus head. My big purple magenta Galactus head, my popcorn bucket, if you will. Now, I bought this last year. I've had it on my shelf for a year. And I think I've just come to a point where, like, I don't have room for this anymore. Because as you can see back there, I got a Darth Vader popcorn bucket. I have a Jaws popcorn bucket. I got like a Batman thing over there. I'm like out of room on my shelves. And this just does not really fit the motif anymore. I think it's cool. It's awesome. I think it's definitely a statement piece, but it's so large. And I would like, if someone's interested in buying this, I will gladly sell it to you. Now, these go for about $100 on eBay. I will cut you a much better deal for one of my viewers. If someone's genuinely interested in buying this, I will sell this to you at a very fair deal. So if you want to email me, let me know. We can work something out. Email me at pickflickinger@gmail.com if you want to. Okay, so anyway, if anyone's interested in buying this shit, let me know. I will ship it to you, and I will even sign and autograph something for you. You know, and hey, it's never been used. It's clean as a whistle. I even have the instructions still in there. So, all right, I'll even throw in a party popper with it. All right, let's go to the next one here. Am I covered in, dude, look how much party popper goop I have. Look at this. Oh! All right, let's go to the next question here. And the next question comes from the movie guy 007. Never buy food from a taco truck. I know some horror stories. Dude, listen. I don't buy food from gas stations. I don't buy food from trucks. And when I go to, like, I'll tell you one place I eat at quite often. I go to Dairy Queen a lot to get chicken tenders and Oreo blizzards. But the thing is, I'm never let down by the Dairy Queen by my house. They always, like, the food tastes good. It's affordable. It hits the spot. I like it. And when I do find a good fast food restaurant, that is the one I always go to. I trust it. I see the people. I think they wash their hands, or at least they wear rubber gloves. And they're definitely not spitting in my food. And as long as I can assure myself of such things and certainties, that's the restaurant. Like, if I have to drive across town to go to that specific fast food restaurant, that's the one I go to because I trust it. But anyway, I don't even know if that was a question, but thank you. And you get a party popper, man. Let me add another one to it. I'll sign the mouth in the Galactus. Oh, Vancouver. I said Toronto. It's Canada. What's the difference? All right. Jeff Fisher says Waterworld versus Doom. Which is better? I like Waterworld. Doom? Are you talking about Doom with The Rock? Waterworld, yeah, dude. I love Waterworld. I think that's a fun summer blockbuster movie. Kevin Costner peeing in a pickle jar or drinking it. I think that's great, man. And you got Dennis Hopper as the villain in the movie. And everyone's smoking cigarettes. They don't have any water. They don't have dirt. Paper is a hot commodity, but they have an unlimited supply of ammunition and cigarettes. Okay. The movie guy 007 says, Jim Caviezel is the actor I think you were thinking of compared to Tom Hardy. No, it was the guy from Upgrade. That's who we were talking about, man. But here's a party popper just for you. I think we went through like 40 party poppers tonight. So thank you guys. Arook189. How's it going, Arook? Thoughts on Project Bluebeam? Well, basically, we've heard about Project Bluebeam for many years now. It's basically like aliens or whatever. And I think we're all at a point where, like, okay, if aliens exist, can you just tell us so we can go to work tomorrow? And if they do exist and I don't have to pay my taxes and I don't have to go to work tomorrow, maybe I'll have time to care. But if those things don't change, then I don't care. Oh, look, there's an alien. What is he going to do anything? Is he going to fix anything? No? Okay, I don't care. But really it's just the other conspiracy of Project Bluebeam, isn't it? Just basically it's a distraction. Whenever they talk about aliens, it's a distraction from something else happening. And I think 99% of the time that's basically what it is. Okay, let's keep going here. Epstein files? Look, there's aliens. Look, there's an alien over there. Steven Spielberg made a movie about aliens. Don't look over here. There's no files. You don't need to look at these. All right, the next one comes from... and by the way, you get a Project Bluebeam to your face. All right, Edward Nito. How's it going, Edward Nito? Thank you for joining me, man. And here's the... thank you for the super chat. And this mask... Oh. Ooh, it's getting real tight on the... I gotta fix this a little bit. There. Oh, that feels better. I like that. All right. I've been wearing this for like 3 hours now. I planned on wearing this for like the first 5 minutes of the video, but for some odd reason, it just feels good. All right. Edward Needle says, "Hey, John. It's been a while since I've been able to catch a live show. I was thinking a movie, Toy Soldiers, with Sean Astin and Will Wheaton. I haven't seen it in years, but it's a good watch." Yeah, thank you for the question, man. And so Toy Soldiers, we talked about this on the last live show. Not to be confused with Small Soldiers. We're talking about Toy Soldiers, which is a movie that came out in 1991. And it's a great, great movie. If you've never watched it, I do recommend. This is like a great little hidden gem movie. So basically, a group of troublemaking boys at a prep school decide to take a stand when terrorists seize control of their boarding school. Boarding school, not a prep school, but. And then you have like Sean Astin, and they have all these gadgets and stuff like that, and they just go up against terrorists. It's kind of like Die Hard, but in a boarding school, you know. It's a good time. I do recommend it. It's got a 6.6 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it should be like a 7.6. I'm just putting it out there. It is a great movie, though. The movie guy 007 says, "That's how I feel about long-haul truck stop restaurants. I feel they make good food from my experience." Yeah, any place you can sit down and eat, like you can trust it because that place is going to be there tomorrow. But like a food truck, it's not going to be there tomorrow. Like certain gas stations, if the gas station has like a dining experience that's complete and like established, and you can sit down, okay, you can take a chance there. If a truck driver can eat there, then it's good enough. It's good enough for everybody. You might get some greasy bacon, some runny eggs, but that's all you need. All right, the next question comes from... And by the way, thanks for the question, Edward Nito. You get a party popper. Thank you so much, man. Jake Tamman says, "Because of how much of a classic The Dark Knight is, Batman Begins has now become underrated. It's the most comic accurate Batman movie and a great Gotham." Oh, I don't disagree with anything you just said. I actually completely agree with what you said. I think Gotham and Batman Begins is a much better version of Gotham than Chicago was in The Dark Knight. Because let's all be honest, Gotham in The Dark Knight is Chicago. It's literally it's so Chicago. But in Batman Begins, like you had the Narrows, you had this like gross, like decaying, poverty-stricken area of Gotham City, and that just gets like eradicated by the Dark Knight. I think little hints of that would have been better in the Dark Knight. Like if my only complaint with the Dark Knight is it just looks like Chicago. Like they could have just tweaked it a little bit. But I get it. I get what Nolan was going for. He wanted it to be immersive and like realistic as possible. And I think like his take on that was he wanted to basically make his version of Heat, but with Batman in it in Chicago, and make that the backdrop, much like LA was the backdrop in the movie Heat. It's something, it gives you some like relatability. It grounds the movie a little bit. But I do agree. It should have looked a little more Gotham-y. But no, my favorite Batman suit is like Batman Begins. I think that suit looks great. Like in the opening scene in The Dark Knight, where he's actually still wearing the Batman Begins suit and being attacked by dogs in a parking garage. I think that suit like just looks better. And I get why they upgraded it and changed it, but I think the Batman Begins suit's just better. I really do. John, if you had kids, will you ever show them your YouTube career? Yeah, I think if anything, like that's the best thing you can show your kids because it just instantly makes you cooler. It's like, listen, your dad's cool. He's hip with social media. He's a cool guy. He used to wear a Batman mask and talk about movies. Yeah, absolutely. But then again, how can you watch this and like take me serious as a parental figure? Go to bed. No, fuck you. You wear Batman masks and talk about movies in your underwear. You can't tell me what to do. And I just have to say, yeah, good point. All right, the next one comes from... by the way, Jake, thanks for the question. Rachel! You've been poisoned with a psychotropic party popper. Your mind was lost. Jeff Fisher says, what does hyping up your video do? Does it help? I don't know if hyping it up helps. I'm sure it helps the algorithm to some degree, and it can't hurt it at this point. So, I mean, really, you just click the stupid button. What does it hurt? Click every button you see on the screen right now. Click them all. Just click everything. I don't even know what anything does anymore. Like the video, share the video. If everyone's watching right now, can you just share the video like to Facebook? I don't care if your only friend is your 87-year-old grandmother. Put this video in front of her face and let her watch it. And we'll serve true justice. All right, let's go to the next one here. Or don't do any of it. It's okay. Jake Tamman says, Yo, John. Been watching your channel since your Dark Knight Rises review in 2012. I finished writing a book and will publish soon. Would you buy it? Well, man, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the book's about. I don't know the synopsis, the premise. That's like saying, hey, I made something. Will you buy it? Well, what is it? Do I have a need for it? I'll tell you what. Once you write your book and you publish it, come back to the channel. And I'll give it a mention, man. Wherever it's available, I will give you a nice little shout out. How's that? But I want to know the synopsis too. Okay? And good luck with it, man. I hope it's good. I hope it's good stuff. What's the name of the book? Where do you buy it? What's it about? But thanks for the question. Okay, the movie guy 007 says, have a good night, John. Well, have a good night to you, 007. Thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for all the questions. It does mean a lot. And guys, I'm going to answer like a handful of questions. So if you guys got it out for like the next 60 seconds, get as many questions in as you can, and I'll answer as many of them as I can. That doesn't mean I'm leaving right away. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do right now, I still got some party poppers left. I'm going to get a quick refill of a drink, something a little bit more hydrating than bourbon. Get your questions in for the next couple minutes. I'm going to take a very quick break. I will be right back in about 60 seconds or less. Get those questions in. And when I come back, I'm going to answer every single one of those bad boys. Don't you go dying on me. Where are the sharks? They're in the Narrows. All right, what'd you guys come up with? Let's answer a couple more questions here. I got myself a nice orange Gatorade. Getting a little talking for like 3 hours makes you thirsty. Okay. Do you think Whoopi Goldberg would do a great Batman? What a profound question. I come back and that's the first question I get. Thank you for that. What a great one. And yes, I do. I used to, dude, growing up, Whoopi Goldberg was the shit, man. I loved her in Ghost. But the movie Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg, where she goes undercover as like a nun. I liked that movie. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't hold up, but I remember watching it. Okay. What else we got? Mag Visual Studios says you gotta parent them while wearing the mask. Well, absolutely. I'm more of an authoritarian figure with this mask on. Let's see. The Color Purple, dog. Nah, Sister Act all the way, man. John, do you think Roseanne should have ended instead of the set finale or the reboot? Like the first season where Roseanne came back, it was like okay. But really, they should have just done like a 3-part episode of the Connors or Roseanne or whatever. And that would have been sufficient. Like Roseanne back in the day, I loved that show. I think that was like a very relatable show. Like the family dynamic of Roseanne back in the 1990s was as similar to my life growing up as like I've ever seen translated to a sitcom. It was very relatable to me. I didn't watch like the rebooted episodes or the Connors or any of that junk. But back in the 90s, I actually really liked the show. Okay, let's answer this question here. Mr. 47 says, are you caught up on X-Men 97 thoughts? I did not finish the last episode or two of X-Men 97. I started it. I liked a lot of it. Some of the storyline I wasn't that into. But me and a friend of mine, we watched a majority of it. And I never finished it. I don't know. I thought it was good. It just, I don't know. Some of the stories I remember the storyline kind of got a little bit boring. I don't specifically even remember what happened because this was like a year ago. I remember watching it. So no, I didn't finish it. Edward Nito back again, man. Edward Nito, why are you so good to me? Here it goes. Edward Nito says, I was just thinking, what reaction would Chief Brody have if a party popper came out of his rifle at the end of Jaws? That's a great question. Well, you son of a bitch. And then the shark just goes, okay, and then eats him. And then he swallows Chief Brody. And that's the end of Jaws. Jaws wins. The end. Damn it. And it would have made for a better sequel, though. Because at least he wouldn't have been blown up. And then we have a sequel where... oh, look, another shark's coming. All right. I guess that's what could have happened. Look at my Jaws popcorn bucket, though. Speaking of that, I think we have to watch it now. I saw a comment. I'm going to do it. Jaws in my pool. Jaws in my pool. Jaws in my pool.
This was probably the stupidest skit I've ever
2.3 million views. Why?
camera, which I don't know where it's at right now. I think it might be in the bottom of the pool.
This is for you, Edward Nito.
That is a possibility. I don't. This is at the bottom of the pool, which. So you,
And that's where you end it right there. Oh, look at this. That's a nice effect.
This is Scuba Steve. Now Scuba Steve is trying.
That's Scuba Steve right there. Anyway, Jaws in my pool. That's called cinema, everybody. Okay. All right. But thanks for the question, Edward Nito. You get a party popper, man. Thank you so much. Another party popper, at least. Okay. Daniel Green says, I would wear a GIMP outfit for 2015 John. I mean, what do you want from me, man? Come on. I haven't grown up that much, have I? But by all means, if you want to put a leather GIMP mask on and I can put you in a cage down in my basement, just come on over. Listen, I got the cage. You bring the GIMP outfit, I will lock you in it. What happens after that? Nobody knows. Tired Boy 8326. Dude, that might be my username. I'm getting tired. John, me lad, tell us the Jeremy Johns suit story. Oh, I shared this before, or else how would you know? So I met Jeremy Johns once. I could have met him again a couple weeks ago. I was invited to the Sony event in LA. I didn't go to it. He did go. Maybe I should have went, but at the same time, I just didn't feel like getting on a plane to go to LA. So I met Jeremy in 2012 for the U reviewers, and we were hanging out at Mark Ellis's house, and like nothing was going on. I was like young in my 20s. I was stupid. And we were walking around, and there was like a Men's Warehouse, and Jeremy Johns, like, cause you know, he likes to wear suits and shit. And, he was like, let me go to Men's Warehouse and look around. And I'm like, aren't all Men's Warehouses the same? Like, you have them in Washington. They're probably the same in LA. Do we need to go look at suit jackets right now? But anyway, we all went into Men's Warehouse, and he looked at suits. And I was thinking to myself, this is odd. This is really weird. What are we doing here? So anyway, now with all that said, let's watch me arm wrestle Jeremy Johns. All right. Now, who do you think wins this arm wrestling match? Jeremy Johns might have the viewers and the subscribers, but I will always hold on to this until the day I die. Look at this shit, man. Speaking of Jaws, look at my shirt. It was at this moment he knew he fucked up. I will say, man, Jeremy Johns was stronger than I thought it would be. He's a limber dude. So, but he did have kind of a clammy hand. I'm just putting it out there. So anyway, glorious times. Glorious times. I'm glad that exists. No, dude, look at his wrist. Dude, look at his forearm right there. His forearm is not small. And you got to think, this was back in 2012. I just started working out like a year before this. I only weighed probably like 180 pounds or 180 something pounds right here, man. I was not that big yet in 2012. Like, I had a little bicep definition by all means. But, yeah, I was, I wasn't that big yet. So, I mean, arm wrestling him was harder than I thought it would be. But I still beat him. All right. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from, let's see. Over the top, winner takes all, loser takes the fall. All right, the next one comes from we already answered this. Okay. What do you think of Marvel Rivals? Nothing. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what Marvel Rivals are, man. Is that a show? I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's so much Marvel stuff. I cannot keep up with it. He took you. No. He didn't take me shopping. We were all just hanging out, walking down a street, and we saw a store and we went in. We're going to need a bigger party popper. All right, guys. You watched Pain and Gain and got bigger. Yeah, kind of. I like to think of it that way. All right, guys. So with all that said, I think that's going to wrap up tonight's live show. Thank you so much for hanging out. We've been talking for what time? I started this at like 11:45. So it's like 3 hours. We've been talking like 3 hours at least. But as always, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, give the video a like. Make sure you subscribe. Click the stupid notification button. And look out for an upcoming special video of a movie night revisiting The Dark Knight. And also, I review a TV that I'm watching it on. So it is a sponsored video. But I do get to talk about The Dark Knight in the video specifically. So that's cool. And also, I like talking about new TVs and shit. I think it's kind of fun. With all that said, though, look out for an upcoming review and first reaction of The Odyssey. I will be seeing it Monday. So Monday night, if you don't follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, follow me there. I will post a first reaction on my thoughts of The Odyssey. As always, guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight on a brand new live show. You guys really killed it tonight. We got way more viewers than I thought we would at 3 o'clock in the morning. And thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching and have a good weekend. And as always, I'll see you next time.